to the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for.
Costs the average family $1,500 a year. Save the food, cha-ching, and $1,500 extra bucks is like getting a pay raise. Save the food, cha-ching, you're promoted, which could pay for your child's braces. Save the food, cha-ching, you're promoted.
Check out my braces.
So when you hear this sound, rethink your behavior. Cook it, store it, share it. Just don't waste it. For tips and recipes, visit savethefood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
Bringing you another night of St. X Tiger football, and we are going to play football tonight. There are some places around town where they're not going to get a game in, but because of the turf, we will be underway here in about 30 minutes from now. St. X is out on the field warming up. Bowling Green has their specialists out on the field, and the rest of the team is set to come out as well. They have finally opened the gates here at St. X so the fans could pour in. And, Tony, the bottom line was we had to wait for the last strike of lightning for 30 minutes.
Yeah, John, the weather and inclement weather came through here, and we're looking out to the west, and it looks like the sun's trying to come out. So, yeah, the weather, unfortunately, here for our first home game for the Tigers delayed, but looks like we're going to have football, and barring any other lightning or weather, but the teams are on the field, fans are coming in, and we're looking forward to this.
I'm not putting a jacket on, but the temperature got considerably more pleasant after the hard rain that we had come through here about an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be a beautiful night if it stays clear like this. The temperature's down now. The fans coming in are having to wipe their seats off, but see a few umbrellas up, and most people look like they're handling it pretty well. So going to see how both teams handle it.
Maybe the best game in town tonight, maybe the best game in the state tonight. St. X 0-1 after their upset loss to DeSales week 1 2 weeks ago. They were off last week. St. X had their bye. Good or bad, Tony, after a tough loss, a bad loss to DeSales, to have your off week the following week? Because now you got 2 weeks before you can actually get back out on the field.
Well, John, I never liked bye weeks as a coach or a player in any sport, but the one plus about it for the Tigers is senior quarterback Keegan Sullivan, who had a broken thumb on his non-throwing hand, missed the first game. And they didn't find out till Tuesday that he was not going to be able to play, and they had 2 days to get ready. So they got to work, get Keegan back in, try to get him healthy. He will wear a cast on his left hand. Weather could affect that.
Yeah, and from up here, Tony, he's got a black wrap on that left hand, taking snaps down here on the sideline. The thumb is covered completely up to the tip, but the rest of the fingers are loose and outside of the cast or the wrap, if you will. What is different because he can't use his left thumb?
Well, I think the main thing is, John, it's going to be hard to hand off. Just grabbing the ball sometimes is going to be tough. It's going to be hard to play any type of read option. They're not going to run him anyway, but the weather, if it stays wet and the ball's wet, it's already tough to play with. And if you've got a hand that's got a semi-cast on it or whatever, it's got to be a problem.
It's still drizzling a little bit, but I think the rain is probably going to be out of here by the time kickoff rolls around in just under 28 minutes. And the way this field drains, I'm not even sure they're going to have to deal with wet conditions.
No, there'll still be a little slick because just of the moisture on the field. But, yeah, boy, remember we were talking about it earlier. You said your famous game in the rain on the sidelines was Fern Creek High School. Mine was at Manual. And those nights, it was horrible. You just tried to hold on to the football. And some of those games around Jefferson County will be that way, but shouldn't be that way over tonight. And I'm glad it's going to be hopefully clear because these are two good football teams, and you want to see them play each other without any of the weather affecting it.
At least one game in Jefferson County has been postponed until tomorrow already. That's Central and Fern Creek. That game was supposed to be played at Fern Creek tonight, and you have to imagine the field's just a mess.
Yeah, some of those fields are already beat up anyway, and any standing rain is going to kill it.
So St. X Bowling Green, Tigers come in 0-1 off that loss to DeSales. Bowling Green 2-0, Tony, and they walloped Pleasure Ridge Park last week, a little bit of a revenge game from the year before. Mark Spader in his first season as head coach, but he's been on the sideline with Bowling Green since 2004. What do the Bowling Green Purples bring to this contest tonight?
Well, I think it's an emotional game for them too. Everybody talks about Coach Wallace. This is their guy. Coach Wallace has been around that program forever, and now they're looking at him on the other side too. Everybody says, well, Coach Wallace ought to know, how Bowling Green's going to come across, and Bowling Green ought to know that.
Yeah.
But they come in here tonight, and I think after their first game against Central Hardin, which was a close game, their last blowout, they expect to be a contender like they always do. And DeVito Tisdale, the running back for them, he's already run for 270 yards in 2 games. So we'll see how the Tigers defend that. Bo Buchanan, the quarterback, threw for over 300 yards last week. So interesting, going to be a matchup. But it's always a good game when Bowling Green and St. X play.
DeVito Tisdale, 15 carries, 124 yards, and a touchdown against PRP. 3 catches for 95 yards and a 76, including a 76-yarder for a touchdown. And he will also set up to return kickoffs and punts as well. I talked to Kevin Wallace yesterday. You'll get to hear that interview here shortly. He wants to do everything he can to keep the ball out of the hands of Vito Tisdale.
And Bowling Green knows that too. They're going to have to rely on Bo Buchanan, I believe, their quarterback, to make plays, because St. X is going to dare him to throw the ball. And Buchanan's a guy that's played some, and he's had some big games. He's already thrown for 547 yards in 2 games, John, so they know they can throw it. But what's the competition level when you're playing St. X and you're playing Central Hardin and you're playing PRP?
I saw Bowling Green and Bo Buchanan last year at Pleasure Ridge Park. They made it very difficult on him. We saw him last year at Bowling Green when the Tigers won that game 30-19. They won 2 in a row in the series after losing 5 in a row. He struggled against defenses that got after him last year. Now, he was good last week against PRP, 18 of 27, 306, 2 touchdowns and an interception. But you're going to have to put pressure on Bo Buchanan.
Yes, and I think that's the Tigers. Tigers would tell you, all right, we're going to know where DeVito Tisdale is the whole time, because he's a talent. Big Division I schools already looking at him as a junior, and so Tigers have to be where, you got to know where everybody's at. I mean, you can try to stop one guy and another guy beats you or whatever, but St. X's scheme defensively is bend, don't break, and I think there's some talented guys. And the guy last week, Patrick Owen, had a huge game, John. He was in on 16 tackles.
It is the 100th season of St. X Tiger football. If you've been following on Twitter or Facebook, the 100 days leading up to the game 2 weeks ago at DeSales, just some good stuff, including the 1978 state championship team. They are being honored tonight. Guys like Mark Paslick, guys like Kevin Wallace, not the coach, but the quarterback Kevin Wallace from St. X. Our buddy Damian Burke's in town now. They had a sloppy, lightning-filled night for a reunion, but that was a terrific team.
Yeah, it was. I saw a picture of some of them over at Chex last night, a little bit of a reunion, but that was a team.
Yeah.
That wasn't one guy or 2 great players on a team. Tom Hayner and Mark Paslick were great runners. Kevin Wallace ran the thing. A great defense.
All right, so
everybody on the defense.
it's got the bag over. So take it right here on the right-hand side. If it stops raining completely, it's like it's already about to. If it does, we can take the bag off. Probably about where you're getting the top and bottom, the yellow in the field, about where you want to be during the plays. And then after a play happens, let's say he's the quarterback. Hopefully the Tigers kind of get the action, zoom back out before the play starts. So just make sure you get all the action. This will be pretty smooth for you. But
for 2 more seasons. Bowling Green, as I mentioned, won 5 of the last 7. St. X leads the series 10-5. So in this series, Tony, St. X started with 8 wins. Bowling Green won 5, and the Tigers have won the last 2. In the last game played here at Brother Thomas More Stadium, 45-19. St. X put it on the Purples. That's the game that ended the Bowling Green 5-game winning streak. And Tigers, they had a mission that night.
Yeah, the Tigers game was actually here because they went double.
Yeah.
We played down there twice, played here the last 2 years, and the Tigers were really good. And actually, Bowling Green only got those points later in the game. St. X really put it on them. But normally these games are close games, 2 talented teams. We've seen some great ones down there. Tigers winning 2 out of the last 3 here. They have talented athletes. Tigers are, I think, more, I don't want to say team-oriented, but DeVito Tisdale will be the most talented player on the field, no doubt about that. But if Keegan Sullivan does what Keegan Sullivan does, that will open it up for Anthony Moretti. And Bryson Harkins had 6 catches last week. We were hoping he had more because I think the Tigers, when they watch film, will see that Bryson Harkins is the guy they should go to.
Offensive line still got to do a better job, not only in the running game, getting blocks down the field, but they've got to protect the quarterback tonight.
They do, and if you were with us earlier, we talked about it. All 5 guys that started last year played about 95% of the snaps. They were all seniors, so this offensive line is being reconstructed. It's a nice way to put it, and they're still trying to figure out who can play at this level. And if you got a chance to prove yourself, and they got a good chance tonight.
Tigers have Fairdale and Central in the next couple of weeks, Tony. How important is it, not to Kevin Wallace because he's going to be fine either way, but how important is it for this team and for these players psychologically to get a W tonight?
I think it's huge, John. They expected to win at DeSales, and we're very disappointed in their effort. Too many turnovers, not scoring, a couple bad decisions by players and coaches. And you hang, though. Those things stay with you. So they need to get good thoughts in their head tonight. They'll be ready to go, but got to stay away from the mistakes, mental and physical.
The rain looks like it is just about let up. The umbrellas are still up.
Is that sun?
That is sun to our, I guess, west.
West, yes it is.
Get those clouds out of the way. I don't know if we need any sun. We don't need the mugginess to come back because it feels great out there right now.
It does. It's beautiful out there, and great night for football. If you hung around for a while or you were waiting at home,
and if you've been waiting at home, you got 20 minutes to get out here before kickoff.
Yep,
right.
20 minutes.
All right, we are 20 minutes away from kickoff. When we come back, we'll hear from the head coach of the Tigers, Kevin Wallace. St. X and Bowling Green, you're listening to St. X High School Football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
offense were a result of our inability to run the football, because we ended up throwing the ball a lot more than what we probably would have planned on going into that football game.
My inner sources tell me that Keegan has practiced most of the last couple of weeks.
He has.
Will he play tonight?
Yeah, Keegan's going to play, and we don't foresee a huge reduction of our playbook. I guess that's the best way of putting it. I think that we've been comfortable that most of the things that he can do, he can't go under center, which is something that we would do some in a goal line situation or short yardage, but he's not going to be able to go under center and take snaps. But other than that, we feel pretty comfortable with how he's handled the football over the course of the last 2 weeks.
Anthony Moretti, he was, didn't have a lot of running room last week, 2 weeks ago, I should say.
Yeah.
He did break through for one touchdown. Douglas actually broke through for a nice run.
Yeah.
Running the football, how big of a priority is that going to be this week?
That's all we've really talked about. Our main message to our offense has been that we've got to line up and go right at somebody and blood it in their nose a little bit. And that means a little better technique up front. It means a little better vision from our running backs. It means a little better blocking from our guys on the perimeter. It was a total systems failure. It was not, don't point at Anthony and don't point just directly at our offensive line. There's a lot of causes there. And then, we told our kids going in, DeSales had the strength of the football team was their defensive line, and those kids, as they got momentum and the game didn't go our way, you could see them kind of breed confidence and really play a lot harder. And I think that's the most disappointing thing to me, is that we had opportunities to win the game late, even as bad as we played. We got the lead, and then we gave up an 86-yard drive for a touchdown. And then we got the ball back, and we moved it in their territory, and then we turned it over. So we got to be stronger mentally, make sure we finish, and then obviously from a physical standpoint, we got to be tougher.
You're going to look across the field tonight and know everybody on that other sideline. What can you tell us that you expect from Bowling Green tonight?
Well, first of all, you're going to look at number 7. He's going to be an elite athlete in the state of Kentucky. I mean, he's this week he's had offers from every SEC West school, and Vito's an unbelievable talent who struggled last year for us offensively. Really tried to bounce things out every time he touched the ball. Look at him on film. He's so much better than he was a year ago, and I think they've done a great job with him. And when you have an elite player like that, and all of a sudden he becomes better, he's good enough to carry a football team. The scary part of him is that whether you kick it to him or whether they hand it to him or whether they throw it to him, he can score a touchdown from just about anywhere on the field. There's not a whole lot of explosive athletes like that in high school football, and so we've got to do a great job in special teams.
Do you kick it to him at all?
Well, we hope not. But sometimes, kickers, if they're not real talented, they don't know exactly where the ball's going when their foot hits it. It's kind of like me with a driver in my hand.
There you go.
Not exactly what address the ball's heading. So our plan is to not kick it to him. But even if you don't plan on kicking it to him, if he touches it in open space, you've got a challenge ahead of you. And we got to do a good job getting him to the line of scrimmage, because once he gets to a second level and gets in space, it's going to be tough on anybody to get him down. They also have a returning starting quarterback who had a great year for him last year. And Bo's a big, strong kid and does a good job running their offense. They've got adequate receivers. They've got a tight end, 2 tight ends, 1 sophomore, 1 junior. And the sophomore is already ranked by one of the recruiting services as the top sophomore in the state of Kentucky. So you're talking about the top junior and the top sophomore in the state. So there's not a talent problem. And they're going to be well coached. All those guys, are still there that I was with, so I think they do a great job. And they and South Warren and Covenant Catholic are going to be the elite teams in 5A, and the top of 5A usually isn't very far from the top of the state. So this is a more athletic team than we played in DeSales. It's a team that's going to have an emotional advantage in terms of all their kids are really going to win this football game, not just because it's St. X, but their old head coaches on the other sideline. So I think, much like 2 weeks ago, we better bring it.
How relieved are you going to be when this game's over?
Oh, so I hope I'm really relieved, because I hope we're 1-1. And that's the most important thing about tonight, is that we finish 1-1. We find a way to get a win against a really quality team. And for me personally, just get this out of the way.
football alumni night. We're celebrating the 78 state championship team. Just a couple more things that are on your plate here.
Yeah, I resemble that remark. I was a 78 grad, so that would have been, a year after
before,
I graduated from high school. So, but I know that a lot of folks around here are really excited about that. I've talked to Coach Glazer quite a bit about it, and it's great to be around a place that has as much history as St. X does.
Coach, good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
Head Coach Kevin Wallace will be back with the opening kickoff. St. X and Bowling Green. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissing Impact Sports Radio Network.
H Companies, the Don F. Hinkabine Company, filled with St. X boys like Chris and Alex. We love our Tigers. And DFA
by my
loves
mouth.
serving you
Check
with
1,
your
2,
HVAC
3.
needs with
Don't give
heating
me a
and air
check.
conditioning.
Check, Johnny, check.
because this crowd's rolling in here now, and the Rage Cage is filling up as well. But I think we're going to have a really, really big crowd, even with that's the storms that went through tonight.
Yeah, John, I think we were going to have a huge crowd because Alumni Night, Coach Wallace's first game here on campus, a lot of things going on with state championship teams and ex-alumni.
And with us starting late, we've got some early scores to pass along, Tom.
At
least you do.
Well, at halftime up in Cincinnati, Mara leads Trinity 21-14. Out there in Shavley, the cross of Holy Cross.
It actually says that on the app. Shavley's own Holy Cross.
DeSales leads Holy Cross 14-0. That's in the second quarter. The Central Fern Creek game has been postponed. 21-0. Merrill leads Doss in the second quarter. And a lot of other things going on out into the state, but we've got good games going on.
Charles Walker and Luke Hayden, class of, well, they don't have any class.
They don't have any class, yeah.
So they had to come up and yell at us. So hello to those alums. It's alumni night here. We're going to take a break, come back with the opening kickoff. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Mystic Impact Sports Radio Network. yellow numerals, white pants, and white trim. Traditional white helmet with the X on the side, and the Bowling Green in their road white uniforms, purple pants, and purple numerals. And, Tony, I'm going to give the Bowling Green purples a lot of credit here, Tony, because those are good numbers. We're going to be able to see them without any problem. Might not even need the binoculars.
Yeah, John, that's we've had teams come in Florida, especially the one that came in
we got them next week.
Silver uniforms and white numbers. That was brutal.
Yeah, that's always fun. Good crowd starting to pack in. Looks like Bowling Green brought a pretty good crowd over on the other side as well. A 2-hour ride right up I-65. Are you surprised that the Tigers deferred after winning the toss? I kind of thought they'd want to get Keegan Sullivan right out there.
Yeah, but, coaches all got different philosophies on what they want to do. So we'll see. Maybe you just wanted the defense to try to get out there, get a stop, and get good field position.
So the Tigers will kick it away, and Jeff Sexton will do the honors. We saw Cameron Teague last week doing the kickoff, or 2 weeks ago. I keep saying last week. Tigers were off last week, but Jeff Sexton will do the honors tonight, kicking it off. And the one guy you don't want to kick it to is standing and dancing right now back at his goal line. That's DeVito Tisdale.
For Bowling Green, number 5, Jalen Wardlow. Number 7, DeVito
Jalen Wardlow is deep as well, along with Des Wilson. And we are just about ready, 45 minutes or so late to get this one underway.
Will they squib it, John?
I certainly would. Sexton pops it up, not a squib, pops it up down near the 30. If it stays in bounds, and it does not, it goes out at the 22-yard line, and that'll be a penalty. The Tigers, if that spins the right way, Tony, you're all of a sudden maybe recovering a accidental onside kick.
Yeah, and it's a bad kick because it goes out of bounds, but, boy, he kicked it in a good spot, and it just had a little top spin that rolled out of bounds. That stays in bounds. It's a fight for the ball, but Bowling Green will get great field position starting out there on the 35-yard line to start the game.
And Bo Buchanan, the senior, is the quarterback, second-year starter for the Purples. Got kind of beat up last year against the Tigers. He'll send 2 receivers to the left. That's the short side of the field, 1 to the right. In the shotgun, Tisdale in the backfield as well. They give it to Tisdale, running left, stacked up there. A flag comes down, and he's dropped right at the line of scrimmage, which after the kick out of bounds is the 35-yard line. And it looks like it's going to be in the area of holding against the Purples right off the bat here. But good job of swarming defense for the Tigers there.
Personal foul, face mask.
Wow, face mask against the Tigers, not good. Varga will get the start at nose tonight. The Baskin brothers are on the end. The linebackers, Houlihan, Owen Sams, and Bowler. Safeties are Sam Borman and Jude Carlin. And at the corners, Des Andrews Agbagu and Harrison Pate. So 15-yard major penalty moves it out to the midfield stripe, 1st and 10 for the Purples. They send 1 receiver to the left, or to the right, to the left, 2 to the right. Scotty Brown is wide to the right. Tisdale to the left, empty backfield. Pressure comes, so it's high and deep down the left side. Looking for Tisdale, he drops it. Had Harrison Pate beat by a step or 2. It was over his left shoulder. He would have preferred it to be over his right shoulder and just couldn't hang on.
Well, what they did, and the Tigers have to be alert when Vito Tisdale lines up at receiver. They get him in man coverage, and Harrison Pate is in press coverage. And the throw actually looked like a pretty good throw, but it did get over. I'm watching the replay, John. He should have caught that ball.
2nd down and 10. Tisdale back in the backfield now with Buchanan. And it's a draw play to Vito Tisdale up the middle. He's got 5. He's tripped up. He has a 1st down. Patrick Owen trying to strip the ball out instead of making the tackle there. And finally, with some help from one of the Bascums, Tisdale's brought down, but not until he's got a 1st down. Hale Bowler in on the tackle as well. It's a gain of 14 and a 1st down at the Tiger 36.
Gain of 14 yards on the play. It'll be 1st and 10 at the Tiger 36.
No huddle here for the Purples. They just go to the line of scrimmage and get the play there. Here's Tisdale on the handoff, running left, short side of the field. Lowers his shoulder and runs over some tacklers. Hard running from DeVito Tisdale. He's short of the 1st down marker, but not by much. It's a gain of 9. Well, we'll give him 8.
Well, we talked about him being an athlete, John. He's quick. He just showed some power right there. They put him at receiver, and so far, with the penalty, the 2 penalties on the Tigers, the ball kicked out of bounds. The face mask now, Bowling Green has the ball at the 28-yard line of the Tigers.
This is DeVito Tisdale's show so far.
It sure has been.
2nd down and 2. Man in motion from left to right. High snap. Buchanan brings it down. Rolls right. Throws right. It is intercepted. What a great play over there. That is Des Anders Ugbagu. It was intended for Scotty Brown. And Ugbagu, with great coverage, just picked it off on the St. X sideline and went down immediately at the 24-yard line. Great play.
Well, it was a little roll out to the right. It was just when the receiver cut to the outside, the ball was not thrown with much on it. And great play by Dez, just making the play, coming up and catching the ball. So stopping the Purples from Bowling Green. Now Tigers have the ball at their own 24-yard line. And Keegan Sullivan comes out at quarterback.
The 6'2", 179-pound senior will get his first snap of the year. Give it to Moretti. Off the right guard. Got across the 25, maybe a couple to the 26 where he's gang tackled right there. Tiger offense. It is Knable at center. Parham is a co-captain tonight, and Hummel are the guards. Brown and No are the tackles. And Johnston is the tight end. 3 receivers to the right on 2nd and 8. Moretti in the backfield. Sullivan looks to the sideline. Looks like a little confusion here. Johnston tight end to the left. Keegan wants to throw. Quick slant. It is caught. First down. That is Eric Lyons, the senior. A little bit behind him, but he hauled it in and then fell forward for a first down all the way out to the 39-yard line, gain of 13.
Just a little play action, quick slant, and that's what Keegan Sullivan does really well. Gets it out quick, gets it on the money, and Eric Lyons gets the ball down for a Tiger first down.
Andre Coleman goes wide to the right. Bryson Harkins and Lyons are split to the left. Moretti in the backfield with Sullivan. Takes a snap. Give it to Anthony. Up the gut, tripped up right at the line of scrimmage. Nice play coming through there. One of the safeties, Harris Tomlinson, the linebacker, came through and made the tackle. No gain, 2nd and 10.
The Tigers have to do a better job of running the ball inside the tackles, and first 2 times they only get 2 yards combined.
9 minutes to go, first quarter. Tigers on their first possession after causing the turnover. Sullivan wants to throw, does throw. Late, it's knocked down. Tigers want interference. Harkins trying to say he caught it, but he did not. Good coverage on the play by Tucker Prescorn.
Well,
might have gotten there a little bit early.
Well, there's the fear because Sullivan play fakes. He's got pressure in his face, and he's got to get it out quick, and you don't want him getting hit. So now Tigers have 3rd and 10 from their own 39. No score.
3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. That's Harkins on the short side of the field. Long snap count. And now they'll look to the sideline. Miles Harris is in at the slot to the right with Lyons, and Coleman wide to the right.
Watch Harkins on this side by himself.
Good snap. Screen to Harkins. Hit from behind and dropped at the 45-yard line. Getting back in the play, one of the down linemen, that is Darrell Gray, the defensive tackle, who kind of peeled off and made the tackle. Gain of 6 to the 45, but the Tigers will kick it away.
Yeah, John, the play just took, actually I think Harkins came back a little too far. If he gets up the field and catches the ball, he was waiting for his offensive lineman to get out in front, and that gave the defensive lineman a chance to run him down from behind.
Austin Teague in to kick it away. Tisdale is deep, along with the coach's son, Evan Spader. Long snap count, low snap, but a good job by Teague to bring it down. High wobbler, it's going to bounce at the 32, takes a Tiger bounce to about the 30, and it'll be down right there. 25-yard kick, no return, 8:02 to go first quarter, and each team's had a possession with nothing happening. Bowling Green will get it back.
A little more success on Bowling Green's first possession. They moved the ball very well. The interception shut them down. The first pass that Sullivan threw, nice pass to Eric Lyons, but got to get that rhythm going. And, John, if they can't run the ball between the tackles, it's going to be hard on them.
Yeah, they got to get the running game going, no doubt about that. Buchanan back in the shotgun. He's got Tisdale to his left. 1 receiver each way and a slot back. Here's Tisdale. Stutter step at the line of scrimmage. Patrick Owen chases him down and hauls him down. Well, Patrick Owen was special 2 weeks ago, Tony, against the Sales, and that time he makes his own tackle. No assist there. He just chased Tisdale down at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, John, and Tigers did a great job of containing and forcing everybody to stay, Tisdale to stay inside, and then they strung him out to make the play.
2 to the right, 1 to the left. Fake to Tisdale. Buchanan wants to throw. Throws deep over the middle and overshot his man. And great coverage again there, Tony, by Dez. I'm just going to call him Dez because Andrew Zagbagu is just too much to say. Brown was the intended receiver. It's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, Andrew Zagbagu did a great job right there. He ran step for step with him right down the hash mark. The safety, I believe that was Borman, was on the inside. He was just playing his spot, but a great job by Dez. And now Bowling Green has themselves in a 3rd and 10 from their own 30-yard line.
They send, actually they look to the sideline. Tisdale lines up in the backfield, 2 receivers each way, 2 to the left as well, including the tight end, Drabowski, who had a big game last week. The right tackle moved there, and that's going to cost the Purples 5 yards. Ivan Drabowski, the junior tight end, he's in a long line of great tight ends out of Bowling Green, which include a couple of guys named Wallace.
Yeah, and there's a guy named Jordan Dingle who's a sophomore who's playing out there. So they're one of their strengths is tight end, but I was really expecting that play to be Tisdale coming out of the backfield, maybe trying to run everybody out and dump it because DeVito Tisdale in space is a tough guy. But that's a 5-yard penalty, so it's going to be 3rd and 15. Bowling Green from their own 25-yard line. 7:26 left first quarter, no score.
Tisdale in the backfield, 3 receivers in the pattern. Tisdale stays in to help block. They throw it deep down the middle, wide open, and knocked away at the last minute by Borman, who recovered. And now a flag. Silly flag against Harrison Pate as he hit the receiver after the ball hit the ground. Harrison Riggs was the intended receiver, and he had separation, Tony, but the ball hung up and allowed Sam Borman to get there and knock it away. But instead of a punt, the penalty is going to cost the Tigers.
Wow, things like that you just can't do. And, John, I actually legged down after Borman knocked the ball and didn't even see it. That's how late it was. So just a bad decision by Harrison Pate.
Can't do it. And the crowd can boo all they want, but it's just a bad play. No excuse for it. And Kevin Wallace, I don't think he liked the call either. He had the ear of the official over here. But when he watches the film, I think Harrison might run some steps for that one.
Well, I know what they're saying. How does he know who has the ball or if he has the ball or doesn't have the ball? But that's a
There's another flag. It's going to be a sideline warning, I think. Hopefully it's just a sideline warning against St. X because it came over here right by the coaching staff. We'll see here. My least favorite call in football is the sideline warning, and that's what it is.
But, John, 3 penalties on the Tigers. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, they've got the
face mask.
The face mask on
that
the first
one there.
play of the game.
And I know there was another one on that because, am I wrong? 2 of them for 30 yards.
Yeah. Not just offsides here, 2 major penalties. So 3rd and 15 after the incompletion and the late hit gives Bowling Green a first down at their 40. Here's Tisdale running left, gets away from 1. Bowler gets a hold of him and hauls him down with a little help short of the 45-yard line. Cameron Sams got in there to finish it off. It's a gain of, we'll call it 4. Bring up 2nd and 6. DeVito Tisdale is very shifty back there, Tony.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of him already in this game, and we expect to see in the rest of the game. But
shotgun again for Buchanan. Nobody to the left. Throws it to the right. It's a little screen and dropped. It was originally caught and bobbled, and Harrison Riggs, before he could, that is not Harrison Riggs, it's Jordan Dingle, the other tight end, and he may have had some room to run there, Tony, but I think he saw the defender and never hauled it in.
Well, Sam Borman played that very well. He came up from his safety spot, and Desmond
just say Des.
Yeah, Des did a nice job of fighting off his guy and keeping him to outside. I was going to say Andrew Zabagu.
3rd down 6. Tigers need to get him off the field here. Buchanan wants to throw. Has time. Pump fake. Now he's rolling to the right. Still wants to throw. Does throw. It's through the hands and almost intercepted. He was looking for Drabowski. Knocked out of there by Sam Borman and Andrew Zabagu. We're going to get this.
We don't know how we're struggling,
to get this. He almost had his 2nd interception. In any event, the Purples will have to kick it away.
Well, what they did is they kept Buchanan back here, and then they chased him out of the pocket, and he had to get rid of the football, and he almost threw it away. So now the Tigers trying to get the football back without making any more mistakes.
The sophomore Grant Goodwin goes deep for the Tigers. Eli Burwash, one of my favorite names, will kick it away. And nearly blocked by Coleman. It's going to bounce at the 28, take a sideways bounce, and it'll roll dead at about the 27-yard line. 29-yard kick, no return, 6:24 to go. Jim, these two teams just seem to be feeling each other out.
Yeah, I hate to break this news to you, but this is the same refereeing crew that we had at DeSales, and half of them worked the state game too.
Well, they owe us one then, right?
Yeah, that's the first thing I said when I got out there to the center of the field.
1st and 10 for the Tigers at their own 27-yard line. And Sullivan out for his second series, sends Harkins and Lyons to the left. Johnston in the backfield as an up back with Moretti behind Sullivan. Give it to Anthony. He's hit, dropped in the backfield.
Well, John, with the problems coming in here, they got to do a better job of blocking, but Keegan Solomon's not a threat to run the ball right now. They do not want him running the ball, so the option play, the read option's not in the game. It's got to be quick, and I think you got to get up the field. And right now the Tigers might have to throw it all night.
Miles Smith came up from his linebacker spot untouched to make the tackle. Loss of one for Moretti. 2nd and long. Play action. Sullivan, quick slant, has a man, caught. I think that is Lyons again, or it could be Goodwin. No, it's Eric Lyons, his second catch. Both of them on the slant pattern, and he gets it out near the 40-yard line and a 1st down.
And, John, that might become the Tigers' running game if they can't do a better job of blocking at the line of scrimmage. Once again, a quick slant to Lyons. Tigers get the ball out to their own 40.
And that one was right on the money. Lyons could either catch it or it was going to go through his chest there. 1st and 10. Here's Moretti running left. Nowhere to go. Just clogged up. Johnston trying to get a block, but just nowhere to go. A whole lot of white jerseys there, which tells me you're going to have a lot of man-to-man coverage.
Yeah, and just not getting any type of push on the offensive line, and that some big guys up there for the Purples on that D-line, and Tigers put themselves in 2nd and 10. 5:16 left first quarter. No score here from Brother Thomas More Stadium.
With good hearts, the referees gave Moretti forward progress to the line of scrimmage. So 2nd and 10, quick throw to the right. It is Lyons trying to get away from the tackler, and he can't do it. Hauled down over there by Jalen Wardlow, and it looked like Lyons was going to have some room. He caught it. There was nobody near him, but Wardlow closed quickly. Gain of a yard. It'll be 3rd and 9.
Well, he didn't get an opportunity to get up the field very quick. He caught it, had to turn and run, and by that time the Purples defenders got there. So Tigers on these two plays have only gained 1 yard. So 3rd and 9 from the Tiger 41-yard line.
And Andrew Zabagu is in at receiver along with Andre Coleman. They're lined up to the short side of the field, the right. Lyons and Harkins to the left, Moretti in the backfield. 4 men at the line of scrimmage for the Purples. They only bring 4. Sullivan throws to the right. He's got Coleman fighting, still fighting, has a 1st down. Give Andre Coleman a whole lot of credit there, Tony, because he knew he had to get to midfield. And, boy, what a terrible spot.
I'm watching the referee, and I'm like, where are you marking that?
He got across the 50, and they're putting it right on the 50. Luckily, that's enough for a 1st down. That's awful.
No, he definitely got past that. They pulled him back, and you got to give him forward progress. But it will be a 1st down for the Tigers at midfield.
Give Andre Coleman a lot of credit for individual effort right there.
John, we're going to see a hitch and go here in a second. They've thrown it short. They're looking for the right opportunity. They're going to take a shot here.
Bagu stays in. He looks confused. He's in the slot to the left with Lyons and Harkins. Coleman alone to the right on 1st and 10. Wanting to throw is Sullivan. Now he rolls to the left. Looking, still looking. He's got a man. It's already had 2 men, Bagu and Harkins. I think Bagu got a piece of it, but it was intended for Harkins. It falls incomplete.
And that makes you wonder if Andrew Zabagu did not know, John, the right play, and he did. He did tip the ball away. And Andrew Zabagu stood out there with his hands up before the play, and I don't think he was supposed to be in that spot because he was throwing that ball to Harkins.
2nd down and 10. Johnston will come back in for Dez.
Andrew Zabagu.
If we say it enough, we'll figure it out. We said it a lot last year. 2nd down and 10. Ball at midfield. Keegan Takes the snap. He's going to give it to Anthony. No, yes, he does give it to Anthony. He's got some room around the right side. 45 and drop down at the 40. Short of the first down marker. They'll mark it at the 41-yard line. And it'll be 3rd down and 1. And that time a nice individual move from Anthony Moretti. I thought he'd kept the ball, and I thought, no, he's not going to keep the football.
Kind of did too. I got raindrops all over my window here, which makes it. I'm moving over. But, John, this might be the time to take the shot. What do you think? You're going to get 2 plays from here, don't you think?
3rd and a full yard to go here. Moretti in the backfield.
They're stacking the box.
Johnson's in at tight end. He goes in motion. 2 tight ends to the left for the Tigers. They give it to Moretti, running left. He's got the first down, cuts inside at the 36, and he's dropped right there. Davis Tomlinson had to come up from his safety spot to make the tackle. It's a gain of 5, and we've gotten on the offensive line. Let's give them some credit there. They pushed the Purples back.
Yeah, and give Johnson and those other guys credit, too, because that play went sideways. He ran towards the sideline. They had to block long enough for Moretti to cut it up. He does. Now the Tigers have the ball at the Bowling Green 36-yard line.
Tight formation here as everybody is right near the center here. Harkins and Coleman are the widest, but they're not even outside of the hash mark.
Don't throw it.
He wants to throw it. He wants to throw it deep. He's got all kinds of time. Now drops it off, and it's incomplete. Short-armed it to Coleman, who was alone at about the 30-yard line, just begging for the pass, and Andre was wide open.
Yeah, and plenty of time for Keegan Sullivan to throw it there. So in a tight formation, and what they did is they crossed guys. They ran guys. Coleman went underneath, Lyons went through the middle, and Keegan had too much time, I think, and then he just looked up and didn't throw it. Yeah, it's like shooting a wide-open shot from in close. Sometimes you just don't shoot it.
And again, O-line gave him all kinds of time. 2nd and 10, ball still at the 36 of Bowling Green. Keegan goes in motion now. They snap it to Moretti, and a whistle and a flag, and that's what happens when you get a different cadence. False start before the snap against the Tigers.
And, John, I think it might have been Moretti. He actually kind of took off forward, didn't have the ball. I didn't really see it, but something looked wrong with Moretti. That's going to cost the Tigers 5 yards.
Grant Goodman will come in and give Andre Coleman a blow here. The sophomore will line up wide to the right with Zach Johnston. 2 receivers to the left. That's Lyons and Harkins. 2nd, and 15. Ball back to the 41. Moretti goes out of the backfield. They're going deep down the left side looking for Harkins, and he's bumped, and there's the flag. I don't know if he was going to catch it, Tony, and that might just be smart football. I'm not going to catch this, so I'm going to run toward this defender and have him bump me, but it's going to cost the Purples 15.
Yeah, they actually had 2 guys back in coverage on Harkins, and actually Sullivan threw the ball where you want to throw it. He overthrew him a little bit, but I think you're right, John. I think it was a smart move by Harkins, just trying to find contact, and if it was interference or not, doesn't matter. It's a 15-yard penalty, so Tigers will get a first down out of it, and with 2:16 left here in the first quarter and no score, Tigers have the ball all the way down to Bowling Green 26-yard line.
First and 10. Goodman widest to the right. That's the wide side of the field. Harkins is in the wide slot, and Eric Lyons is in the tight slot to the right. Moretti in the backfield with Sullivan. Zach Johnson tight end to the left. First and 10 for the Tigers. High snap. Good job to bring it down. Here's Moretti running right. Makes one man miss. He's inside the 20, down near the 15, and he's got a first down. We'll give him 10. They'll spot it at the 16. Tigers' first trip into the green zone, brought to you by the Eye Care Institute, Dr. Brennan Green. Not to be confused with the new green zone on NBC's Sunday Night Football, which is awful.
Well, John, give Hummel and Brown a lot of credit on that right side, blocking on the offensive line.
First and 10 at the 16. Quick throw to left to Harkins. Gets a block from Lyons. Now runs right at the defender. Gets inside the 10. Good job by Bryson Harkins that time. He basically just ran up the back of Eric Lyons and said, you know what, I'm going to ride him as far as I can. He got to the 9. It's a gain of 7.
Yeah, I like it, John. Seeing the replay, he got 4 or 5 more yards on his own right there. He, like you said, he just ran up the back of Lyons, hit the defender, and took on 2 of them.
Second down and 3. A lot of things you can do here at the 9-yard line. Let's see what they choose to do. It is Moretti running up the gut, nothing there. Hit at the line of scrimmage and dropped. And it's that linebacker, first man there again, Harris Tomlinson, the senior. No gain, bring up 3rd and 3 with 1:15 to go in the quarter.
When the green zone was where the Tigers had problems 2 weeks ago at DeSale, so I thought you'd see play action right there. Tigers did not do a good job on run block, so we'll see what Coach Kevin Wallace and Keegan Sullivan have up their sleeve.
Coleman back in there. You got 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Quick throw to the left to Harkins. Same play they got the first down on, and they got the first down play on, and now they got a first down at the 2-yard line. Same play, Tony. Eric Lyons goes out to block for him, and he runs right behind the block.
It's basically a run play. You just get it out quick, you block, you get to try to get guys out in front of him on the block, and if it's 2-on-2, 1-on-2, you figure Bryson Harkins has a shot. He's a good size receiver at 6'2". And, John, this play right here would be play action to me because you know Bowling Green's going to load that box.
It's a gain of 6. They mark it at the 3-yard line, 1st and goal. Harkins to the left. Coleman, Lyons to the right. Johnston is in that fullback spot with Moretti right behind him. Both guys to the right of Sullivan, who wants to throw. In trouble. He's Moretti wide open. Touchdown, St. X Tigers. Anthony Moretti snuck out, and nobody went with him. He was not the primary receiver, though, Tony.
Yeah, Jerry, I'm not seeing that play. Moretti went out, and the guy should have been guarding Moretti. 34, one of the linebackers. He came up the gut, Ethan Klein, to make the play. It looked like he had pressure on Keegan Sullivan, but Sullivan saw what was happening, got it off to Moretti. So with 30 seconds left here in the first quarter, the Tigers strike first. They lead 6-0. What do we got?
They're going to mark something off here.
Penalty on the Tigers.
Ineligible man downfield. Where did that flag come from? Because I didn't see it, so apparently it's still 0-0 here. Wow. Jim Brinkman, did you see what happened?
Yeah, the umpire has the responsibility. There were a number of linemen that were in the end zone that just fired out, and you know you get the safety zone there of 2 yards on each side of the line of scrimmage, but it's a questionable call.
Let's go here.
30 seconds to go here in the quarter. 1st and goal back at the 8. Tigers have 2 tight ends to the right now and 2 receivers. They give it to Moretti, running right. Gets a block from Coleman, cuts it in at the 5-yard line, and he's in. Touchdown, St. X Tigers, Anthony Moretti. Now, it's a yellow end zone, Tony, so maybe that's why we didn't see the flag earlier.
Well, I can guarantee you this. There was not a man downfield on that play because that was a run, John, around the right side. Give Moretti all the credit because Tigers did a good job of just going man-to-man shielding, and Moretti read it, fine, cut it up, and the Tigers do go on top now. With 20 seconds left in the first quarter, Jeff Sexton coming on to attempt the extra point.
Good snap, good hold. Kick is up and through. 7-0 Tigers. 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
For over 20 years.
Back at St. X, John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, Todd Powers. Second down and 2 for Bowling Green at their own 43-yard line. And here's Vito Tisdale on the carry, running left. He's got the first down and more. Made Borman miss, but coming up and making the hit, Cameron Sams, Jude Carlin.
Well, Vito Tisdale's always one step, John, from breaking it. And every time he's cut through there, it's you got to find him, get hands on him, because if he gets loose, he's a talent, and he's quick. Tigers have to gang tackle him. The play before then, the first quarter, was almost a big play.
Robert Andrioli in there on the tackle as well. That time Buchanan looked the wrong way, had to turn around and hand it to Tisdale. And from the 50, he's dropped at the 48, a 2-yard loss by a host of Tigers led by Richard Bascom. Reagan Alex. I got to get them right. Alex Bascom.
Remember, 94, 95.
Alphabetical.
Yes.
Got it.
But that play, I think, might have been a draw play that Buchanan didn't.
He looked the wrong way, though.
Well, I thought he was going back to act like he was passing. When he turned the wrong way. No, he turned the wrong way. I know he did that.
Second down and 12. Here's a high snap, and he hands it off to the running back in there replacing Tisdale, and he's going to get dropped for a loss. First man there was Zane Peckinpah, the outside linebacker, the junior, in there on the second squad. No gain. They do give the line of scrimmage to Michael Carter, the backup running back, the sophomore, but it'll be 3rd and 11.
Well, what a great play by Zane Peckinpah. He's the outside linebacker, jams the play up, and then Patrick Owen helps him out, and the Tigers get a stop. So it's 3rd and 11 from the Bowling Green 49.
2 receivers each way. And Buchanan takes a snap and a whistle before we can get underway. Alex Bascom is clapping, so I think it's going to be a false start, and it is against the Purples. That'll turn a 3rd and 11 into a 3rd and 16.
Well, 10:27 left here in the first half. Tigers lead 7-0 over the Purples from Bowling Green. That's going to, 3rd and 11 is bad enough, but you add 5 yards on that, it really changes your play calling. Now, if you're the Tigers, you keep them in front, and hopefully you tackle, and you get the football back.
And Tisdale not on the field right now. They've got Jamil Smith in at running back, 2 receivers each way. Buchanan wants to throw, 4-man rush. Being pressured, Alex Bascom's got him, and he brings him down with some help.
Let go.
You got to let go, but Alex Bascom was the first one through there.
He did. Johnny broke loose from his right defensive end. His brother came and helped all 3 defensive linemen, and a Varga there too. So, boy, a passing situation when all 3 your down linemen get back here. Huge play. Now,
Ken Schaffner was back there as well. So Goodman goes deep for the punt. Eli Burwash to kick it away. It's 4th and 23. Good snap. Boots it out of there. This is returnable for Goodman, who takes it at the 31. Makes 1-man miss, runs left. He's across the 40 and pushed out of bounds on the Bowling Green sideline near the 45-yard line. A good job by the sophomore to come up and get it and get some positive yardage out of it.
And, John, that snap back there was a good snap, but it was slow.
Yeah.
And they almost blocked the one before it with Coleman.
They didn't go after that one.
They didn't. And they still got good pressure up in there. So I think next time you see the Tigers maybe go after it. So Tigers get great field position to start this drive. They lead 7-0 here in the second quarter, and they'll start at their own 46-yard line.
9:25 left here in the first half.
And, John, real quick, first quarter, Tigers ran 20 plays for 104. Bowling Green ran 12 for 64.
So Tigers about 5 yards of play. That's a winning formula most of the time. Keegan Sullivan, how do you think he's looked so far?
I think he's looked good, John. You're talking about a guy who's trying to make sure he covers that finger up, but he gets it out there quick and has made some nice passes.
3 receivers in the pattern here. They go with the 2 tight ends with Jalen Borho and Johnston. They give it to Moretti, running right, wants to throw. Throws it high and deep, and he short-armed it, and it's picked off at the 30-yard line. He wanted to throw it to Coleman, and it just simply wasn't there. And now down the left sideline with blockers goes the interceptor, and this is going to be a touchdown. 70 yards on the interception return. There is a flag.
And 44-yard line.
Have to hope it's a block in the back. Miles Smith, the linebacker, was back there. They weren't fooled at all, and that was not a good throw from Anthony Moretti.
Yeah, Moretti got a little bit of pressure. And
Coleman's behind the defense.
Coleman's 10 yards behind the defense. Moretti just could not throw it far enough. And, boy,
There's a break for the Tigers, though, on the penalty.
Ooh. I don't know about that call. I know where they threw it. There was a block in the back, but the Tiger turned as he was getting ready to get blocked. So they're discussing it here.
Well, they're either going to wave it off or call it. They're calling a hold on the return. I'm assuming it's on the return. And it'll move it all the way back to the 35-yard line. So basically, you take a score off the board, it's a 65-yard penalty against Bowling Green here.
Yeah, that's a killer if you're the Purples. And but Tigers trying to do a little trickery. It's a good-looking play, but you can't just throw it. And there was pressure on Moretti, and I think actually Sullivan was trying to block for him.
I also wonder in this, with the wet football down there, if you allow your running back to throw that pass. All right, 1st and 10, Bowling Green. Buchanan gives it to Smith, running left. He's got a little room, and it closes quickly. Helmet comes flying out of there, a Bowling Green helmet. Des Andrews-Agbagu, and a late flag comes in as the guy without a helmet, that's what we'll call him now, Trey Kofer, the center, came up, and I think he went after a Tiger, and that's going to cost the Purples 15.
Yeah, John, if I'm not mistaken by the way the Tigers are reacting, I think he went after Patrick Owen, and it's a good way to hurt your team. The bad thing, when you coach, you tell your kids all the time, it's not going to help to retaliate on a player. Anything happens, all you're going to do is hurt the team. And right there, that 15 yards is big. That's 2 penalties in a row on the Purples.
It's a gain of 2 for Jamil Smith, who looked like he had some room there. But, boy, Andrews-Agbagu again, Tony, just came and made a walloping hit. We saw the helmet come flying off. Sam Borman did a great job of recovering the helmet as he dove for it. But this is going to cost him 15, and you have to think also this is after the play, so the down should probably count.
Yeah, I'm going to agree to that, John. We'll see.
If it's a dead ball penalty, the stick still says 1st and 23.
And they must not be, but when that flag came, would have been after the play.
So in the shotgun is Buchanan. Takes a high snap, rolls right, has time, looking back to his left. Now Bascom chases him out of there, and he's going to just throw it out of bounds. Or did he throw it out of bounds? Was it picked off?
I think he was out of bounds when he caught the ball, John.
It was caught over there, Tony, by Sam Borman, but I think he was on the yellow or the white. He got to stay on the green for it to be an interception.
Well, John, I'm going to tell you this much. Great. I watched the defensive backfield there. What a great job. They're way out of bounds. I watched the replay, but great job by the defensive backfield in coverage right there. Buchanan had nobody to throw it to, and he just tried to dump it out of bounds, and luckily for him, he did throw it out of bounds. He didn't throw it far out of bounds, but he threw it out of bounds.
2nd and 23, 3 players to the right. Tisdale in the slot that way. You got to know where he's at. They throw it to the left. It is caught and hit and dropped. Des Wilson with the catch.
Patrick Owen.
And we're going to say that name a whole lot this year. Owen makes the hit at the 22. And it'll be 3rd and long, no gain on the play.
Well, the play really looked like it was set up where they let the 3 Tiger down linemen go and had good blocking, but boy, Patrick Owen just knocked his guy out of the way and made that play. So now Bowling Green looking at 3rd and 23 from their own 22. Tigers lead 7-0 here.
And a Bowling Green player goes down
at the 20.
Right on the number as I don't know if he was trying to get to the sideline, but we'll take a quick break with 8:09 to play in the half. 7-0 Tigers. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. And Todd, and the player is still down for Bowling Green over near their sideline at the 20-yard line. Let's go down to Jim Brinkman. Explain to me, Jim, why it's not 4th and 23, it's 3rd and 23.
Well, it all has to do with it being either a live ball or a dead ball foul.
Had to be a dead ball, though, didn't it?
Well, if the contact occurred before the whistle, the referee.
You can take up for him on this one, but he went after him after the play.
all I can tell you is the helmet came off, on that play, and there's a lot of words being said, and I don't think they were Hail Marys.
Yes. Well, the good news is I didn't get the number, but he got up, walked off under his own power. That's why Todd Powers is here, folks. It was David Sansom, the offensive guard. So 3rd and 23 from deep in their own territory. Over the middle, wide open at the 50, catching it, being hauled down inside the 35-yard line. And just a go route, Andrew Zabagu makes the tackle. Just a simple down-the-middle throw to Harrison Riggs for the big gainer on 3rd and 23. And there is a flag down, I believe. And let's see what this is all about.
But, John, a terrible job by the St. X defense.
It's going to be a sideline warning again, which is probably going to be a penalty. It is a sideline warning. I think you only get one of those.
And John, I want to tell you something here. I'm not going to throw anybody on the bus, but the Tigers switched safeties. They have 2 new safeties in the game, and they just ran right down the seam right next to one of them, and that cannot happen on that 3rd and 23. You can't let that happen.
It's a 45-yard gain, then add 5 more yards on the sideline warning penalty, and all of a sudden Bowling Green at the St. X 28-yard line, 1st and 10, 50-yard total on that play.
Wow, what a breakdown on 3rd and 23.
Buchanan in the shotgun. He's got Tisdale with him. 1 receiver each way, 2 tight ends to the left. They pitch it to Tisdale running that way. He's chased to the sideline, and he goes out of bounds on the St. X sideline. Not much there. May have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Sam Borman came up. Michael Houlihan was there. Alex Bascom. Bunch of Tigers heading that way. It's 2nd and 10. 7:40 to go, first quarter. First half. Tigers lead it here 7-0 on the Anthony Moretti 8-yard run.
And St. X's 2 experienced safeties are back in the game.
3 receivers to the right. Tisdale in the backfield with Buchanan. Bo takes the snap, rolls right. Tisdale stays in the block, throws toward the end zone. High and deep and almost intercepted. Well, good coverage by Borman, who was with Harrison Riggs the whole way. And then Jude Carlin came over, Tony, and almost made an over-the-shoulder pick in the end zone.
Yeah, they tried to make it look like a little rollout pass, and when they went deep, James Taylor stayed in, but the 2 safeties stayed back, and Borman just runs and puts his arm up, and, boy, Carlin had a shot at that one, John.
And that's why he's not a wide receiver, Tom.
Good point.
Should have hauled that one in, and I'll tell him about that later. Come on, Jude. 3rd down and 10 for the Purples at the Tiger 28-yard line.
Tigers lead 7-0 here late in the first half.
Same formation here with Tisdale in the backfield. They're going to throw the little swing route to him and overshot him by a mile. And really, to be honest, I'm not sure if it was intended for Tisdale or Riggs. Andrew Zabagu had great coverage on Tisdale. And I think it was Jude Carlin back there with Riggs, but really neither was open.
Yeah, and I like the play, but there just wasn't much there for some reason because the Tigers, Andrew Zabagu was running down with the guy, and he turned it up, but the throw was so far out of bounds, Tisdale had no opportunity. They will go for it here on 4th and 10.
No man's land at the 28, so they'll go on 4th and 10. Tisdale in the backfield again, stays into block, and boy, he got leveled wide open and through the hands at the 1-yard line of Jordan Dingle, the tight end. That time, there's going to be a discussion between a couple of Tiger defenders because somebody wasn't where they were supposed to be. Tigers get away with that one. Whoever the lineman was, Tony, just ran over DeVito Tisdale and maybe made Buchanan adjust that a little bit, but he threw a good pass. Should have been a touchdown.
It was one of the 2 Bascoms. Whoever was on the right side here is the guy that did it. But, boy, Jordan Dingle, who is a guy that's going to be a big-time tight end recruit. And sophomore just lets it go right through his hand. Big break for the Tigers with 7:22. They lead 7-0 here first half.
And I think you might see him already running. I don't think you're going to see him throw it again here on 1st down. He fumbles it, and Sullivan falls on it back at the 22-yard line. And again, that may have something to do with the thumb. I don't want to blame it on that because they've been pretty successful most of the night. I don't understand why you're running any kind of a read option. Just stick it in his gut and let him have it, because Keegan Sullivan's not going to carry it.
Catch it, turn with the good hand, put it in there, or pitch it, one or the other. Don't try to take it and ride it in there.
Loss of 6, 2nd and 16. I think it's time for that slant pass again. Sullivan takes a snap, has plenty of time, throws a little screen across the middle to Eric Lyons. He's out near the 30, push back there. Ethan Klein, the linebacker, first man to get to Eric Lyons. His 3rd catch of the night. They'll spot it right at the 30. It's a gain of 8, so they got half of it. Now they need 8 more for a first down.
Well, they run everybody down the field and bring Lyons across from the far side of the field all the way across, get him the football, and he gets it up the field. So a big play just with the clock running here with 6:20 left in the first half.
Goodman and Andrews Abagu to the right. Alone to the left is Bryson Harkins, and now Lyons in the slot that way as well. Sullivan in the shotgun, and there's some confusion. Tigers will have to take a timeout. We'll take one as well. 6:03 to go. 7-0 Tigers. Back at St. X, 3rd and 8. Sullivan wants to throw, has all day. Now throws, has Goodman, first down to the 40-yard line. A great job, Tony, offensive line, and give Zach Johnston credit, too, in there, tight end. Just staying in there and blocking for Keegan Sullivan. Gave him all kinds of time, and he found Grant Goodman.
Yeah, and Goodman just kind of sat down at about the down marker, caught the ball, fell forward, and got the first down out to the St. X zone 40-yard line. So 5:15 left here. Clock running, John. Tigers lead 7-0.
Needed 8, got 10, first down for the Tigers. Harkins to the left. Is Bryson still looking for his first catch? I think he is. Here's Moretti running left, looking for a block. Now he cuts back to the right. Cuts inside, nothing there. There's a flag down, as Tony mentioned, and no gain for Anthony Moretti. Well, when your blockers are going one way, they're expecting you to go that way, and then you cut it back unexpectedly, somebody's going to hold, and that's what happened there.
Yeah, just kind of a slow developing play, too. Nothing really happening there as the clock keeps running.
Not class up, but the 1978 state championship team will be honored here at halftime down on the field. They just made the announcement to call those guys all down there. Those are guys that, they were a couple years ahead of us, most of them, Tony, but we went to school with those guys. And 40-year anniversary of that state championship win over Tate's Creek.
Yeah, I saw some guys on that team, David Snipe, Miller, Chris Howell, I saw in the picture. A lot of different guys. David Thompson, who played at UK, was on that team. I think those guys would tell you straight up, just a great team.
David
and
Thompson
use that word
was
team.
A beast. So 10 yards on the penalty, moves it back to the 30, brings up 1st and 20 for the Tigers. I know this is a screen down. I think I'd go for the gusto here.
Well, what I'd always do is try to run somebody at the safety on Harkin's side and try to clear it when you see whatever the weak side is on the defense. Try to run them at it and then come down the field. I think the back judge here.
Well, it's a clock issue.
Oh, that's right. They had the clock ran a little extra there.
They're having trouble signaling what they want up on the clock.
They want some more seconds.
We got to do better than hand signals. 5:27. It was 5:15 on there. They move it to 5:27.
I think they yelled at somebody in the stands who yelled at somebody in the stands that yelled up there.
Hey, look, I'm just glad these officials are paying attention to something. 1st and 20 at the 30. Keegan, straight drop. Looking right, now looking left, now over the middle, dumps it to Moretti. 35-40, running left, cuts back inside at the 45. finally hauled down at about the 47-yard line. He was just tippy-toeing his way down the field, making guys miss.
And, John, what I liked there was they ran lines across the middle of the field, and then Moretti kind of – he wasn't the first option, but that's a good way to get him one-on-one in space. And he beat the guy and then got the ball all the way out to the Tigers' own 47-yard line as the clock runs just under 5 minutes left here in the first half.
Gain of 17 brings up 2nd and 3. Straight drop again, Sullivan. Throws the slant to Goodman. He cuts in, first down. Grant Goodman, he's a sophomore, Tony, but he does a good job of just catching the ball first and then making a quick move. Jalen Wardlow able to hang on for the tackle, but the Tigers are in Bowling Green territory at the 47, gain of 6 and a first down.
John, in the 8th grade in the CSAA, he was one of the best athletes, maybe the best athlete in town, and you're seeing it out here. But I still waiting for the Tigers to take that other shot to Harkins. You said, ask if Harkins had caught the ball or caught those short passes where he got up the field.
Right. Yeah. Moretti in the backfield. 3 receivers stacked over to the right here on 1st and 10. Keegan takes a snap, give it to Anthony. Up the middle, gets some good blocking. Cuts inside at the 40. Hauled down from behind by Miles Smith inside the 40-yard line. He made the cut at the 45. And that is Billy Larkin, the linebacker, the junior, down at the 45. We'll take a break. 4:08 to go, first half. 7-0 Tigers. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. Jim Brinkman, Todd Powers. 4:08 to go here in the first half. St. X with a 7-0 lead thanks to a late first quarter 8-yard touchdown run from Anthony Moretti. We've graded Keegan Sullivan, Tony. He's doing a great job, but I want to give a lot of credit to that offensive line because he's had all kinds of time to throw. Moretti's had some running room tonight, so obviously in the 2 weeks since the DeSales game, that O-line's gotten a lot of work done.
Yeah, and it's work in progress, and the guys have to learn what it takes to play at this level. Game situation's a totally different thing than it is when you're in practice, but Keegan Sullivan helps things out too because you got to be aware of him. You can't just bring everybody because if you give him an opportunity to get the ball out, he will find receivers, and he's done a nice job tonight.
I'm going to have Tony take a look at some scores here from around town. I think Moeller was beating Trinity 21-14. The delay is, by the way, Billy Larkin, the junior linebacker, still down at midfield, right on top of the X right there at the 45-yard line. When we do get back to play, that was a gain of 7 for Moretti. So the Tigers have the ball at the Bowling Green 40, 2nd down and 3.
All right, John, we got DeSales and Holy Cross. Then at halftime, 21-3, DeSales leads. Up in Cincinnati in the third quarter, last thing I have here is Moeller 24, Trinity 17. Ooh, Mel putting it on the Doss Dragons
Not
big
surprised.
time,
Male's
50-0.
Now, they lost Henry Vestal, their star running back last week for the season. Big loss there. But I think Chris Wolf really likes his team.
Definitely. That's definitely a big loss. Tigers opponent next week.
The Fairfield Bulldogs.
Bulldogs losing 3-0 to Nelson County in the first quarter.
That's a war. You wonder what the fields are like around town. And what surprises me, that's a field goal. There's a field goal by Holy Cross tonight. So you just wonder how these guys are even putting the ball down and kicking field goals because some of these fields have to be mud on top of mud. We know already Central and Fern Creek, we're supposed to play at Fern Creek. That game was called off. They'll play it tomorrow, probably early in the afternoon with all the college football going on. Probably a noon start would be my guess. Check your local listings, as I like to say. But, muddy fields around town tonight, and we're just happy to have a turf field.
Yeah, John. And one score, Mike Jackson went over to Seneca. He was the head coach of Ballard for years, helped at Trinity, and they're losing 44-0 to Moore at halftime. And that's just got to be a tough situation for the Red Hawks over there. It's been that way for a while. And one I always like to bring up, and the Atherton Rebels on top, 29-0 over Shawnee tonight.
Wow. Give me a J-Town score. J-Town's out at North Bullitt tonight. I had Mike Schatzer on my call-in radio show the other night, and he's got J-Town. They beat Doss, who had beat them 42-0 last year, and they got a shot to go 3-0 here.
First quarter score, no score in that one.
No, that's not helping me. All right, it looks like Billy Larkin is up with some help, though, here, Tony. This is a lower extremity injury. Jimmy, did you see what happened to Billy Larkin down there?
No, I didn't get a chance to do it. I was actually trying to catch up with Ryan Dobson. Ryan Dobson has the same injury that he had that caused him to miss about 5 or 6 games, and he's redshirting at Thomas More. So he was on the roster last week, and I asked him, if he was still playing football. He said, yeah, I re-injured my knee, and I'm redshirting this year.
Good to see all these guys come back.
Update, Trinity game is final. Lightning in the Cincinnati area. Trinity loses 24-17.
So they didn't finish the game,
Did not finish the game, and it's a final because of lightning in the area.
So the Shamrocks
go to 0-3.
Tony, wow. And it doesn't get any easier next week, I don't think. They may have Mail next week or Naperville, Illinois. They got a non-district game, which they're going to be loaded for bear.
Let's reset this, John. 4:08 left in the first half. Tigers lead 7-0. Second and 3 for the Tigers at the Bowling Green 40-yard line.
And it has taken a couple people to help Billy Larkin.
Hate to see that, man.
Get over to the sideline. He is favoring that left leg without question. Sullivan back on the field. As Tony mentioned, ball at the 40, so the Tigers would love to put another one in here before the end of the first half. Remember, St. X will get the ball to start the second half here. And Sullivan's in the shotgun on 2nd and 3. 2 receivers to the left. Grant Goodwin is split wide to the right. Here's a snap. Here's the handoff to Moretti up the middle. Falling forward close to the first down marker. I think they're going to give it to him. And again, the offensive line, that time he goes right behind the right guard, Hummel.
I'm on Evan Brown on the right side.
Brown over there just pushing people backwards. Gain of 3, 1st and 10 Tigers at the purple 37. 3:40 to go in the half. St. X has used 1 timeout. They've got 2 left.
John, Evan Brown, 6'4", 253, sophomore on that right side. Bright future for him.
Turner Ferris actually in there, Tony, on that right guard spot. Sullivan takes a snap, gives it to Moretti, running right, cuts inside, he's got some room at the 30. Gets a block from Goodwin to the 20-yard line, and he's hauled down at about the 19. Give him 18 more yards. That play started in the middle. Anthony saw a hole, bounced it outside quickly, and then followed some blockers.
Well, he went between Ferris and Brown and had enough gap to get up the field, and then he did it on his own to get himself down.
Tigers in the green zone for the second time, brought to you by the Eye Care Institute and Dr. Brennan Green. Shotgun snap comes back to Sullivan, wants to throw. Looks over the middle, it's a screen to Moretti, makes one man miss to the 15, cuts inside to the 10, and he's down near another first down inside the 10-yard line. Ferris, a good job back there giving him a block. They'll spot it at the 10, so it's a gain of 9, 2nd and 1.
Good time for a screen play, and boy, it was. And boy, just enough guys. Knable got out there and threw a really nice block, and Moretti's finding Johnny. He's finding places to run, and he gets it down to the 10-yard line. 2:37 left first half.
2nd and 1. I'm handing it to the bulldozer here. I'm telling those guys just block somebody. Although the middle's wide open, Tony.
No safety.
Sullivan wants to throw. Looks over the middle, throws over the middle. Touchdown, St. X Tigers. Did he drop it? Did he hold it? He held it long enough.
That's Zach Johnston.
Zach Johnston with the catch, the tight end. 10 yards, right on the money from Keegan Sullivan, and again, plenty of time.
Yeah, and Moretti stepped up and threw a good block, too. And Johnston just runs a little skinny post, a short post coming across the middle. And just what we said, John, no safety. Tigers put that to their advantage, and they Sullivan to Johnston with 2:19 left in the first half. Tigers lead 13-0 with Jeff Sexton coming on to attempt the extra point.
Jude Carlin will hold it, kicking toward the scoreboard this time. Good snap, good hold. Sexton gets it up and through. 14-0 Tigers, 2:19 to go in the half. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Michigan Impact Sports Radio Network. Back at St. X, John, Tony, Jim, and Todd. DeVito Tisdale deep. We've seen 2 pooch kicks from Jeff Sexton, and I certainly don't expect anything different here. And you know Tisdale, Tony, is dying to just run up right now as fast as he can. But I don't think Coach Spader's going to allow him to do that.
I'm going to pooch this one, too. Maybe in the middle of the field this time.
Well, he kicked it deeper. It's still a pooch, taken at the 20-yard line by one of the up men across the 30. Tries to cut back to the right side of the field. He's got a little room. Borman's going to be there to trip him up, and he's hauled down from behind as well by Jake D'Antoni, the backup safety. Good field position. The coach's son, Evan Spader, took it at the 20, got it out to about the 39-yard line. They'll give him the 40, actually, and it'll be a first down, Bowling Green. They've got all 3 timeouts left, 2:09 to go in the half.
Yeah, John, and it's good field position to start at your 40. And if you're Bowling Green, Coach Spader, you need something to happen right here. If you're Coach Kevin Wallace, the old Bowling Green coach, you're saying, let's get a stop here and get into halftime up 14.
Tisdale in the backfield, 2 receivers each way on 1st and 10 here. Buchanan, who's 1 for 12, Tony, takes a snap. Plenty of time. Now throws, tipped in the air and incomplete. And beating himself up there is Cameron Sams, because if he comes down with that, it's 21-0. Because there is nothing but green in front of him. He just jumped the route here, Tony. He's back in coverage. Ball was intended for Riggs. 2nd and 10.
And it was a tough play. It was tougher when you watch the replay. But the 2 Bascom's both brought pressure from the outside.
Buchanan wants to throw again. Looking left quickly. It's not there. Now he pulls it down. He will dump it to Riggs. A one-handed catch. Did the ball come out? It did. It's incomplete.
Tigers are going to get a 15-yard penalty for roughing the passer.
Oh, man. 3rd major penalty of the night for St. X. Things you just can't do, Tony.
Yeah, John, and so that's going to make a...
So instead of 3rd and 10 after the incompletion, it'll move the ball into St. X territory to the 45-yard line. And it'll be a first down with 1:56 to go in the half. And now if you're the Purples, Tony, you can do a lot of things here. Vito Tisdale running the football is still an option because you got all 3 timeouts left.
I'd like screen to Vito Tisdale if I was the Purples.
He's in the backfield, 4 receivers in the pattern. And now the entire Purple team looks over the sideline. Save the center. He can't do it. Tisdale moves from the right of Buchanan to his left. Buchanan takes a snap, looks over the middle. He's got a man. It is caught by Dingle, inside the 35 to about the 33-yard line, a gain of 12 and a first down.
Tackle by number 17, Sam Borman.
Vito Tisdale and Alex Bascom getting into it a little bit down there on the X.
Gain of 12 yards on the play.
Brendan Petrie comes in at nose tackle. 1st and 10 as the Purples threatening to threaten here. Rolling right, screen pass to the left. It is caught, some room out there, and tripped up inside the 30-yard line is Des Wilson.
And John,
drop him at the 27. It's a gain of 6.
Des Wilson had some room to run, and I'm telling you, he just ran forward into a Tiger. Now, there was other Tigers there, but you got to make a move right there.
I think it was Jude Carlin that came up and hit him. 2nd down and 4. Over the middle, incomplete, threw it well behind Harrison Riggs, who was the intended receiver. It looked like Hale Bowler was actually the closest Tiger there. Now we got a whistle. And it looks like Jude Carlin's going to be sent off the field. Maybe a little blood on his arm. Yep, a lot of blood on his arm, actually.
Want to wipe that off and get that wrap real quick.
Real quick.
But, boy, Buchanan way off the mark on that one, John. He's running a slant, and he throws it behind his receiver.
Behind him, not even close.
Wasn't even close.
3rd down and 4. Clock stops on the incompletion with 1:14 to go in the half. We'll hear from head coach Kevin Wallace at halftime. Jim Brinkman will grab a hold of him.
Timeout
Tigers. We'll take one as well with 1:14 to go in the half. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. Over Bowling Green. St. X takes a defensive timeout there, Tony. Maybe just to get Jude Carlin back in the game on 3rd and 4.
Well, that's a good.
And there he
that's
comes.
A good thought, because you want your best defenders. You know they're going to be in a pass formation. 78 Tigers standing down there waiting to get on the field again. It's been a long time since they've been on the field as a team. But the St. X Tigers need to get a stop here.
The 2018 version.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
But Bowling Green's done a nice job right here moving it. We got 1:14 left. Tigers lead by 14, and it's going to be 3rd and 4 from the Tiger 27-yard line.
And it's 4-down territory here from Bowling Green. Certainly, with all 3 timeouts left, I would not be surprised by Vito Tisdale run here, and that's what we're going to get. Right up the middle, cuts out to the left. He's inside the 25 to the 24. I think he was tackled forward. They're going to give him the 23 and a 1st down. Not sure about that, but I'm at a bad angle for that call. It's a gain of 4. He needed 4, and that's a 1st down.
Well, Bowling Green will take their first time out of the first half.
We'll keep it right here with 1:06 to play here in the half, as security has broken down again. Chris Grisani somehow gets into the press box. Great crowd here tonight, Tony. You know, with the lightning and the delay and the storms, really thought a lot of these people would have just headed home, but they've hung around.
No, it's a great crowd, John. I'd really pay attention to you just said it. I looked out the window. Both sides are, this St. X side's pretty full. And Bowling Green brought a nice little contingent, but if you're the St. X faithful here, you just got to hope the Tigers can hold on for 1:06 here in the first half and get to halftime with a 14-point lead.
Butler leads Western at halftime 39-0. Keep you updated on that, on all the scores tonight. And, of course, the big one, Trinity 0-3 now. A lightning-shortened game in Cincinnati, and they fall to Cincinnati Moeller, the Crusaders. 1st and 10 Purples at the Tiger 23 with 1:06 to play here in the first half. Trailing 14-0. Quick throw to Tisdale. It was a backward pass. He cuts inside, and he's hit and dropped as he crosses the 20 down near the 18-yard line. That's a running play as Buchanan threw it backwards. It's a gain of 5. Brings up 2nd and 5. We're under 50 seconds to go. Quickly to the line of scrimmage come the Purples. Buchanan takes a snap. Straight drop, throws over the middle. It is short and incomplete. Threw a line drive intended for Brown. Harrison Pate with good coverage that time. It'll bring up 3rd and 5. Clock stops on the incompletion with 42 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah, good coverage by Pate, but the ball thrown down at the feet of the receiver, not giving him an opportunity. So,
and if you're Coach Mark Spader, Tony, you do not want to come out of here with just a field goal attempt. 3rd down and 5. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. And they hand it to Tisdale up the middle. He is going to have the 1st down as he gets down near the 13, near the 12-yard line. Hard running by DeVito Tisdale there. Richard Bascom finally able to bring him down. Got some help from Michael Houlihan. But on 3rd and 5, he'll get 6. And it's 1st and 10, ball at the 13-yard line. Timeout Bowling Green, so they use their second with 35.5 seconds left here in the half.
Right side of Purple's offense line did a really nice job at blocking that time, and Tisdale gets him behind him. And Tisdale's always running downhill, so he's a tough guy to bring down. But, yeah, John, 35 seconds left here in the first half, and Tigers lead by 14. Tiger faithful trying to get a stop. Purple faithful trying to get their team on the board. But you know what? It's turned out to be a great night out here,
man,
we were just talking about the number of fans out here and seeing a pretty good job by the Tigers. The defense has held Bowling Green. Now, you got to remember, Dingle dropped a touchdown pass.
Yes.
Just flat dropped one. So that's one that Purples would like to have back. But you know what? Scoreboard's all that matters. You know, the O-line, scoreboard.
We need some good weather this weekend. We got the Rock the Water Tower.
Yeah, Bissek.
Presented by the Bissek Impact Group down at the Water Tower Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Looking for good weather for that. 1st and 10, Buchanan wants to throw, and it just undershot. Had a man on a slant. It was Des Wilson. Decent coverage that time by Des Andrews at Boggu, Tony, but just not a good pass. Again, short and well out in front of the intended receiver.
Yeah, John, that's when you got to put some air under it. If you throw it out the back of the end zone, you do it. But you got it. And if he throws that ball under, Desmond Andrews Abagu's got a chance to intercept the pass. Just not a good throw.
31.6 seconds left to play. 2nd and 10, ball at the 12. Man in motion to the left is Riggs, looking that way, now throwing over the middle. And I think it's incomplete. Good hit that time by Cameron Sams. It was intended at about the 9-yard line for Des Wilson. I think if you're Kevin Wallace, you might have hoped he caught that because the clock would have kept running there.
They would have had to use their last time out.
Probably had to use their last time out. Instead, there's 27.5 seconds. It's 3rd and 10.
And Buchanan gets the ball out quick when there's no pressure to a guy that's not going to get anything. I think he's a little shook right now, John. As soon as I said he'll throw a touchdown pass.
Great hit by Cameron Sams.
Yeah, it was, and it was good coverage. So here we go.
Tight formation here. Tisdale in the backfield with Buchanan. He releases out and in trouble, and the ball is loose. He flipped it to Tisdale. They're going to call it incomplete. Boy, I thought that was a backwards throw. A lot of pressure by the Tigers that time. Varga came right up the middle to get in the face. Bascom Alex was there. Good call on the replay, Tony?
Yeah, it was, and it was actually a great job by Buchanan to get rid of the football. So now, Bowling Green, they got a decision to make here. And
Mick Walsh comes in at defensive end, and they'll use their final timeout.
Do you kick the field goal?
21.1 seconds. If you have faith in, I'm assuming it's Eli Warbush, if you have faith in your kicker, I think you try to take the points here. It's a 29-yard field goal attempt. And I think, you want to put something on the board. You got to remember, St. X is going to get the ball to start the second half. So if you don't get a touchdown here, all of a sudden, Tigers scored on their opening drive of the half. It's 21-0.
Yeah, that's a good point, John. And, boy, yeah, you come out of here with a goose egg right here.
So I'll see you folks Tony and I will see you folks at the Rock the Water Tower Sunday night, right? We're going to go down there and watch the Louisville Crashers.
Tony Tan Lions.
Tony the Tan Lions are 7, I think, and the Crashers is 9.
9. Saturday night, Thumper and the Plaid Rabbits. Really good band playing down there Saturday night. They will have a large screen to watch the U of L Alabama game.
And we'll be down there Sunday night, so come say hello. Rock the Water Tower all weekend.
They're going to go for it, Johnny.
4th and 10 at the 12. Buchanan in the shotgun. He's got 3 receivers. Tigers bring pressure. Buchanan has time. Now rolling to the right. In trouble. Throws. It's caught. Short of the first down. Incomplete. Ball came loose. Great coverage downfield. Drabaki was the intended receiver. Harrison paid all over him in coverage. And what a great job by the Tiger defense there, Tony, especially in coverage.
Yeah, Tigers brought 4. They brought Houlihan, one of the tight ends, and Harrison Payton coverage there. The safeties down the field blanket the receivers. So Tigers.
I bet you Kevin Wallace takes a knee here.
Well, if anybody was listening or after the sales game, I don't think there's any other question than that one, John.
13.4 seconds to go in the half. Now, here's the thing.
You got to get under center here.
Yeah, I'm not sure you're allowed to take a knee from the shotgun. He will go under center. Moretti.
I don't know about this.
Moretti's the safety. I don't know why. Bring Bodine in there.
That's what I was thinking.
Put Harkins under center.
You got a guy with a bad thumb taking a snap.
Well, you got a few guys around there looking for the ball to come out here. Sullivan does take the knee, no problem. I'm sure they practiced it throughout the week. And the first half comes to an end, 14-0. St. X with a touchdown run from Anthony Moretti, a touchdown throw from Keegan Sullivan. As I try to find Jim Brinkman, I see him, and he's with the coach. Jimmy?
All right, Coach. Any thought of maybe going for it there and instead of taking the knee?
I've kicked myself for 2 weeks, and I'll probably kick myself for the rest of my life. So, no, we weren't going to do that.
All right, what's your impressions of the first half? Pretty solid first half against a good team.
I like the way we run the football. I mean, that's going to be key to our success because we're good enough to throw it. But we've got a great running back, and we've just got to give him a little room to work, and I think we've done that pretty well tonight.
Anthony Moretti, you got to give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They seem to really respond to these 2 weeks of practice.
Well, that's all we've talked about is being more physical. We got another half play, though. They've got guys that can score to drop the hat, so we've got to continue to control the football.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Coach Kevin Wallace, got to be pleased, Tony, with the way his team performed here so far in the first half.
Yeah, John, it really did. And the Tigers got the stops when they needed them, went down the field and got some points on the board, so they do right here at halftime. 14-0 here from Brother Thomas Morefield.
We'll take a break. Eye Care Institute halftime report is on the way. We'll check some other scores and tell you also what's coming up. St. X Soccer is out of town this weekend, and the number 1 ranked team in the state. Yeah, they're doing some good things here. We'll also update you on JV and freshman football. St. X leads Bowling Green 14-0 at the half. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
You're listening to
St. X. This game got off to a slow start. Bowling Green's had a pretty good drive going, helped by a couple of St. X penalties, then threw the interception. Desmond Andrews-Abagu picked it off. Tigers had to punt. St. X has thrown an interception tonight. Anthony Moretti, not Keegan Sullivan, on a trick play through the interception. Other than those two picks, it's been a pretty cleanly played game. And the St. X offensive line, Tony, and I know we're only a half in, but you got to pat them on the back a little bit right now.
Yeah, John, a few numbers for them. They got 16 first downs, 15 carries for 44 yards. Keegan Sullivan, 13 for 18 for 131. Total yards is Tigers lost my track here. No, we won't worry about that. I lost track of where I was at. Well, 33 for 194. Anthony Moretti. I know I'm getting old. Anthony Moretti has 13 carries for 51 yards. So Tigers doing a pretty good job up front. They lead 14-0. Bowling Green. Their struggles right now, John, been throwing the football.
Yeah.
Bo Buchanan's only 3 for 21 with an interception for 82 yards. So,
are you surprised we haven't seen the ball in DeVito Tisdale's hand a little more? I mean,
we saw it there the whole first series.
But the second quarter and the last part of that first quarter, he really didn't touch the ball a whole lot.
Yeah, well, you can't.
Just a few carries here and there.
Can't run a guy into the ground, but I'm surprised, too, he hasn't seen the ball
I bet
more.
he sees it a little more in the second.
I bet he does, too. But Tigers will get the ball to start second. I want to go back to the 78 team that just went out on the field, John. Great showing by them. They said guys came from 10 different states. Saw a few guys. Mike Vanover, who was in our class, was a sophomore on the team with Damien. Eminem Cartage's own. Don Hayden out there. He was a junior on that team.
Class of 80.
Kevin Lamar was out there, played at Stanford.
Yeah.
They just had a lot of guys. You know, it was just neat kind of seeing those guys because they were a year or two ahead of us.
And I'll bet you if we go meet all these guys later, I bet we don't have to pull any money out of our pockets.
No, and you know what? Some of them look like they can play.
Some of them don't.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Bowling Green, Buchanan has struggled. I don't know what he is right now. He was 1 for 12.
3 for 21.
3 for 21. That is not what you expected out of Bo Buchanan. Now, I said in the pregame, I saw him against PRP last year. They dominated him. Against St. X last year, the Tigers dominated him. Those were road games. He had a big game against PRP last week. So the thought process was, well, Bo Buchanan has turned a corner, and he has become a really good quarterback. He has really struggled against this defense tonight, and the Tigers have brought some good pressure.
They've brought good pressure, but what they've done really well, too, is coverage. They've played great. But you got to remember, this is a very experienced St. X defensive backfield from the linebackers back. Bowler's the only guy out of the 8 guys that don't play down linemen who did not play last year. Sams and Owen already at linebacker.
And Houlihan.
And then you got 2 safeties who I think are probably all-everything type of guys in Carlin and Borman, who are 6'2" and 6'3". Andrew Zabagu, you talked about him earlier in the game.
An athlete.
And Harrison Pate, he's a cover guy that played a ton last year. So that's a really good defense out there. And if the Bascom's and Varga and the guys, they come in there, keep giving pressure like this, it's hard to score on them. Now, like I said earlier, Dingle did drop a touchdown pass.
Yes.
But Tigers have done a great job defensively.
We'll take a break, come back with more here on the Eye Care Institute halftime report. 100th year of St. X Tiger football. We will talk about a whole lot of different teams as this year goes along. We are concentrating on the 78 team tonight, 40-year anniversary of that team taking place here at Brother Thomas More Stadium. I think 42-21, they knock off Tates Creek in the 4A or 3A at 1978, Tony. I'm going to guess
I don't even know
3A.
how old I was.
State championship. Might have been 4A, but I'm going to guess 3A state title over Tates Creek. Kevin Wallace, not the coach, but the former Tiger quarterback. I'm sure he's here tonight as well, celebrating that championship. One of the highlights of the 100 years of St. X Tiger football. So we'll take a break, come back with more here on the Eye Care Institute halftime report. 14-0, the Tigers lead. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Hey, St. X fans, Kyle Keurig here. I had LASIK at the Eye Care Institute, and I want to let you know the doctors there wrote a book called One Eye or Two, Insider Secrets to help you choose the right LASIK surgeon. To find out how you can get a copy of the book to see if LASIK is right for you, or to schedule your eye exam with proud St. X grad Dr. Brandon Green, call the Eye Care Institute at 589-1500. That's the Eye Care Institute at 589-1500.
You got to be kidding me.
Hello, everybody. This is Larry Bissig. Thank you for listening to the
Sells
St. X
28,
Tigers on the Bissig
Cross
Impact
3,
Sports
third
Radio
quarter.
Network. And don't forget to tune in to Louisville First, our morning show on weekdays 7
East
to
Carter
10
beat
a.m.
Betsy
on
Lane
790 a.m. These broadcasts are just an example of the vast marketing and communication services we offer at the Bissig
Let's
Impact.
go ahead and look
Third
at it.
quarter,
Give us a call at
7-7
583-0333 or visit Bissig.com. The Bissig Impact Group. Innovative, integrated marketing.
Hello, John Spears here for M&M Cartage, a family-owned transportation
Had to
company
throw
since
Don Hayden in there on the
1972. That's
state
46 years of experience.
M&M's
Run
on.
by St. X alum Don Hayden and his wife Denise, specializing in logistical services, freight shipping, warehousing, and more for companies nationwide. Contact St. X alum Don Hayden, class of 80,
Well, you
or
knew
Rob
that.
Burke,
Game
class
was
of
over.
90 at 502
Guy got hurt,
456
too.
4586, or visit
Couple guys.
mmcartage.com
What you gotta do
for
tomorrow
more
morning?
information. M&M Cartage, the
Sleep.
leader in regional transportation and logistics.
If you thought the only way to enjoy a membership at a private country club was to spend a lot of money, you've been misled. I'm Jamie Miller, St. X alum, class of 1985. and along with my
Connor
wife
drew the
Becky,
Holy
we
Cross
own the
to
Glen
sales
Oaks Country
game
Club.
by.
Let us show you how
Two
you and your
Catholic
family
schools.
can enjoy our club starting at just $49 a
anybody
month.
cover
With
that?
affordable
Eric?
dues and over
Anybody?
$250,000 of improvements
Who?
to the course,
No.
clubhouse, and pool, Glen
Connor-
Oaks is one of the
Connor
best
said
country club
everybody
values in
was
Louisville.
gone.
Visit
Eric was up at the
glenoakscountryclub.com
Trinity game.
or call
He
339
said he was the only guy in town. I saw earlier today.
Come
This
join us.
game, are you kidding me? Back at St. X, John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, Todd Powers. Both teams still in the locker room. Now the Tigers start to jaunter out on. Is it jaunter? Saunter.
I would say
You know what? They're
jog.
running out onto the field, leading 14-0 here at halftime. Anthony Moretti with an 8-yard touchdown run with 20 seconds left in the first quarter. The Jeff Sexton PAT was good. And then really nice drive midway through that second quarter. It ended with a 10-yard touchdown pass from Keegan Sullivan on 2nd and 1, Tony, at the 10-yard line. He hits Zach Johnston right over the middle, wide open. The Sexton extra point made it 14-0 with 2:19 to go in the second quarter. And then the Tiger defense bent a little bit. They got a penalty, roughing the passer penalty. Able to get down to the 12-yard line was Bowling Green, but St. X held the Purples out of the end zone and actually ended up 4th and 10 at the 12 and an incomplete pass. So Coach Mark Spader opting not to go for the 29-yard field goal, and the halftime score 14-0. The Tigers will get the ball start the second half.
Well, Coach Spader is a 13-year assistant under Coach Kevin Wallace of the St. X Tigers, and Kevin Wallace was the guy that stood up for him and thought he should have, recommended him for the job. So close friends there.
Don't all coaches do that when they leave? Don't all coaches say that this is my assistant, he should get the job?
Yeah, I think so, and that does.
That's the way it should be.
You're loyal, and you should be, and especially when you're leaving to go to another program. But a couple quick scores: DeSales leads Holy Cross 28-3 third quarter. If you didn't hear us earlier, the Trinity game in the third quarter with lightning and storms, the game was not canceled. It was game finished in the third quarter, and it was in a game. Moeller wins 24-17. And, boy, what a way to lose that one. Trinity's lost games in a lot of funky ways to start this season, John. But 0-3 to start the season. But one we're worried about here is that Brother Thomas Moorefield and the Tigers lead 14-0 over the Purples from Bowling Green.
And if you watched that Trinity-Warren Central game last week, which I watched the second half, the Tigers were off last week, so I was afforded that luxury of watching that. Boy, it was just, that game could have gone either way. As it did last year, it came down to a missed conversion attempt. And Trinity loses to Warren Central from Indianapolis, the same Warren Central team that this Bowling Green team will travel to later this season. Bowling Green has no trouble in their district. So the thing to do, and they've done it well. They're doing it more now. Trinity does it, Central does it. You schedule up, and you schedule the best teams you can play because you're not going to be challenged in your district. You're not going to be challenged probably until the third round of the playoffs at the earliest in 5A. So you got to keep your team sharp. So what do? You play St. X, you play Pleasure Ridge Park, which is usually a good game. You got Warren Central for Indianapolis coming up in the middle of the year. And a lot of teams used to not do that. I remember when St. X had some really bad games. You remember really bad games on the schedule. But now you just play all comers, and you just say, you know what, we're going to play the best. And if we're 5-5 at the end of the year, so be it. We're going to go in the playoffs. We're going to win our district, and we're going to be better for it.
That's all that matters is the end of the year. Fans in Lemnack can get caught up in the wins and losses, but that doesn't matter.
Both teams back out on the field. We'll take a quick break, come back with second half action. 14-0 Tigers over Bowling Green. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
This has been the Eye Care Institute halftime
The Bulldogs
report.
from Fairdale lead
Stand
Nelson
by
County
for live
14-3
second
at
half
half.
action
So they're going to be coming
on
in
the
here
Bissig
hot.
Events LLC. Custom designs
Go ahead and kick it in
uniquely
the end zone.
tailored to
Take it
your
to
event. From setup to takedown, we will
I'm
make
up.
your event extraordinary. Basic Impact Group. Integrated, innovative marketing. Let's head back to the field for the second half and join John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, and Todd Powers.
Welcome back to Brother Thomas More Stadium. John Spears, Jim Brinkman, Tony Burke, Todd Powers. The opening kickoff just took place here in the second half, and Harrison Pate took it at about his 3, went up the right hash mark, made a great move, and got out all the way to the 39-yard line. So the Tigers will start good field position, leading 14-0 as we start the second half. Ball on the right hash at the 39. Tigers send 3 receivers to the left. Harkins, Coleman, and Lyons. And Moretti in the backfield with Sullivan. Anthony will get the call. Running left, has a hole across the 40. Closes quickly at about the 43. We'll give him 4 on the play. But once again, offensive line doing a pretty good job on that left side. Parker No.
Cade Parham.
And Cade Parham, who was a co-captain tonight. Moretti gets 4. Good open field tackle that time. I didn't get the number of the purple, but could have been a lot more there. Same formation here on 2nd and 6. Here's Moretti again, running left. Now cuts back to the right. Crosses the 45. A flag comes down. Tiger backfield in the area of holding. And that's what it's going to be. It was a gain of about 4, which would have brought up 3rd and short. Kevin Wallace not happy at all about that call. But the Tigers will move back. And penalties, obviously with a 0 on a scoreboard for Purples, I haven't heard them. But there have been some bad penalties tonight by the Tigers.
Yeah, you got to get those out of your system this time of the season. And those are, when it comes down to it, those type of plays will kill you. So now Tigers looking at 2nd and 16 from their own 33.
Same formation, 3 to the left. Moretti in the backfield. I expect a pass here, though. Instead, it's Moretti running right to the short side of the field. He is hauled down by the jersey. And that is one of the big uglies, Javon Martin, the senior defensive tackle. Just sort of slung him out of bounds on the St. X sideline. He crossed the 35 to about the 36-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd and about 13. So the Purples down 14 here, trying to get off the field quickly.
That's where the penalty kills you. You just put yourself in got yourself now in 3rd and long.
Miles Harris will come in as one of the slot receivers. He's on the left with Lyons and Harkins. Coleman alone to the right. And Tony, he's one-on-one over here with now the safety may be leaning that way a little bit. Keegan wants to throw it deep. He's looking for Miles Harris, who came from the other side. A lot of contact. Down there with Miles Smith, but no flag, and the Tigers will go 3 and out.
Yeah, John, there was, when that ball was up in the air, I'm going to watch the replay here. Boyd Sullivan got hit on the throw. Just couldn't tell right there. I just saw the end of the play. But Bowling Green holds on the Tigers' first possession of the second half.
4th down and 13, and Austin Teague comes in to kick it away for the Tigers. Vito Tisdale not in there deep, which we certainly expected him to be deep. Oh, he is deep. Evan Spader. And Tisdale's going to get a shot here at the 35. Cuts inside, gets 1 block. He's hit. There's a flag down. He is spinning off of tacklers across the 45. I don't think it's going to matter.
You can't
spot him at the 48. And no matter what happens, that yellow laundry is on the turf.
Yeah, you're flirting with disaster if you're going to kick a line drive to Vito Tisdale.
Yeah.
But it is going to be a block in the back.
And once that flag comes out, and then Bowling Green and Tisdale are flirting with disaster, trying to spin out of tackles, somebody could rip that ball out of there. Ball will be moved back to the 36, so decent field position. Tigers couldn't do anything with their good field position. Let's see what the Purples do with 10-12 to go here in the 3rd quarter. St. X leads at 14-0.
And you talked about it at halftime. So expect to see a lot of DeVito Tisdale here in the second half.
He will come off the field here for the first down play. 1 receiver to the left. Late running back into the game is Michael Carter. He'll have a conversation with Bo Buchanan, and the quarterback will take the snap and give it to Carter. Right up the gut. Hit and push backwards. Cameron Sams made the hit there, Tony, and when he did, Michael Carter went backwards, not forwards.
You know, Cameron Sams is not a big guy. He goes
he's certainly
5'8", but 200 pounds, so he's solid. He's just not tall, and 5'8" might even be nice. But, boy, I tell you, when he steps up in the hole, he'll hit you, and he did right there.
Gain of a yard on the play for Michael Carter. It's 2nd down and 7. Carter stays in. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left on 2nd down. Buchanan wants to throw. 4-man rush. Throws to the right. Has a man. It is caught, and did he drop it? Yeah, he did drop it again. That's Dingle. He was hit by Borman, and Harrison Pate was there as well, but probably a catch that Dingle should have made. His receivers have not helped Bo Buchanan tonight at all.
No, they haven't, John. And that ball was thrown. It was thrown low then. It was thrown real low, and he got hit as he was trying to catch it. So put that one on Buchanan, too. That's not on Dingle.
Harrison Pate with a big hit there. 3rd down and 9 for the Purples. Tigers show forward to line of scrimmage. Here comes Cameron Sams on the blitz. Throwing over the middle. It is caught by Riggs. What a great job of hanging onto the football, because Jude Carlin lowered the boom on Harrison Riggs at the 48-yard line. I don't know how he held on to it.
Boy, and the Tigers brought Cameron Sams from his linebacker spot, and they got good pressure. And that time Buchanan did a nice job. But, boy, what a big hit at the end of it.
Gain of 15. They're in Tiger territory. Buchanan wants the screen. Throws the screen to Tisdale, and he's hammered before he can get back to midfield. Patrick Owen, Michael Houlihan sniffed that one out, Tony, and it's a loss on the play of a couple. They'll move it. They'll give him midfield. It'll be 2nd and 12.
And Patrick Owen is a guy, John, people are going to be on before this season's over at 6'2", 236, and he plays with an edge. Sometimes a little bit too much of an edge, but he's a heck of a football player.
2nd and long. Tisdale in the backfield with Buchanan. He will get the carry right up the gut here, hit at the line of scrimmage, and he'll fall forward a little bit. Actually, the pile still moving forward to the 45 and down near the 41-yard line.
John, 73 for the
That's the guy whose helmet came off.
He was in front of the pile pulling a St. X guy along. Isn't that holding?
There is a whistle here.
And that's what I think the St. X coaching staff saying, look, he can't.
And I will say this, the referee is talking to Kevin Wallace like he's not going to take it anymore. And I don't think it's directed at Kevin Wallace. I think it's one of the other coaches who is walking away now.
Well, the other part to it is, John, and I know what they saw. You cannot grab a player from the other team when the pile's going and pull him along. It's holding. I'm sorry, I don't normally speak out as the play's going on, but you can't do that.
It's a gain of 9 to the 41. Whistle in the stands. That's what this was about. Gain of 9 brings up 3rd and 3. Big third down here for the Purples with 8.5 to go here in the third quarter. I don't know. Yeah, the clock is moving. Buchanan will fake it to Tisdale, throw it to the right. It's Dingle. He's got some room across the 35. Chopped down by Harrison Pate and Jude Carlin. Make that James Taylor and Harrison Pate. I'm wrong again. Hale Bowler and Harrison Pate. But in any event, it's a gain down to the 32-yard line and a first down for Bowling Green.
And a nice design play by Bowling Green.
Whistle.
Got official timeout.
And they're going to have to get somebody off the field here, and I'm not sure who it is.
Tigers are just substituting.
They're substituting the entire defensive line here. Varga will come back in.
Might be Petrie there, John.
Andrioli and Mick Walsh. 1st and 10 Purples at the Tiger 32. Shotgun, here's the handoff to Tisdale, running left, then back up the middle, and he's tripped up.
Ball carried by Tisdale.
Walsh was one of the first guys there. Houlihan in on the tackle as well, and slow to get up here is DeVito Tisdale.
And another player down for the Purples.
And holding his right knee, and that's center,
the big
Tony.
guy.
The guy whose helmet came off in the first half, Trey Kofer, the senior. We don't have sizes here for the Purples, I don't believe, but suffice it to say, he's a big dude.
He's a big man.
Jim Brinkman, Tiger defense has bent a little bit tonight, but they haven't broken, and it's time to come up with another big stop here.
Cameron Sams earlier, he's not very tall, but if you look into his eyes, you can see the kind of Ray Lewis intensity when he steps on the field. I asked him about the interception, and he said, well, that's why I played linebacker.
Hey, Jimmy, one
Yes,
thing,
sir.
the defensive backfield, I think you're down there close to them. I think they've played super tonight. They've got some talent in that defensive backfield.
Yeah, Jude Carlin and obviously Borman, and then James Taylor to play football after playing 3 years of basketball. Certainly that's nice. I tried to talk Cam Sheeler into coming back. He played his freshman year. He's already got 2 rings and going after his 3rd one in the spring. So, but the defensive back has certainly a lot of talent. I think the linebackers, as you mentioned, Patrick Owens seems to be able to go just sideline to sideline, and being able to, when we traveled, and I'm not sure if it's a new rule about the 65 players that we took over to DeSales. I think it may be for the Kentucky High School Athletic Association. I think that kind of hurts St. X not being able to have and be able to substitute in, give the Bascums, some break and bring Varga in. I think there were some players that, didn't travel over to DeSales, and that really hurts us, rotating in our second string and our third string lines and being able to basically take a toil on there. I don't see any movement on the injured player on Bowling Green.
Now, he is sitting up, Trey Kofer, but they, again, a lower extremity. They're looking at that. 8:05 to go here in the third quarter. We'll take a break. St. X leads at 14-0. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissett Impact Sports Radio Network. Back at Brother Thomas More Stadium, John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, Todd Powers, Trey Kofer, the center for the Purples, who is a guy that you would think Mark Spader and his team need out there, is down. This is the second time he's gone down. He's gotten back in there after the last time. He was actually down for quite a while over on the sideline, but got up, got off under his own power. This time, I got to be honest, from up here, Tony, it just doesn't look too good. They keep looking at the leg, trying to figure out what the issue is, and Kofer is now going to be helped up. So he is standing, at least on one leg here, and we'll see. And also, when the guy's that big, you don't want to be the guy helping him off the field. I'm sorry, you just don't, because you don't want him leaning the wrong way. He's actually stood up, but they're not moving him at all. Some scores to catch you up on, Tony, anything? I know Trinity lost tonight 24-17 in a lightning-shortened game. Are you surprised that they didn't say, hey, we'll come back tomorrow and finish this thing, or let's stay for a while and see if it clears out of here?
Well, the weather must have been really bad if they decided that then, and you're not going to spend the night or drive back. If you were in town, you might do it. But an interesting score, one of the St. X opponents, 14-7 Eastern leads PRP. PRP, wow, who had a heck of a team last year, is having some struggles right now.
Yeah, and we saw PRP go down to Bowling Green and get beat 44-7 last week. So definitely some struggles early in the year.
And if you're wondering why this game's got 8 minutes and 5 seconds left in the third quarter,
and it's midnight,
and it's after 10 o'clock, we had about a 45-minute delay to start the game because of the weather, and now we've had a couple Bowling Green Purples get hurt, and it's.
Yeah, we saw him gingerly walk the linebacker Billy Larkin off late in the first half, and now Trey Kofer, they gingerly walk him off. 2nd down and 8 for the Purples in Tiger territory at the 30. Fake it to Tisdale. Buchanan has all day. Throws, has a man, and kind of overshot him. It's a great catch. What a great diving catch by Scotty Brown over on the Bowling Green sideline. Inside the 20, they'll mark it at the 18. It's a gain of 12. And Scotty Bowman looks like he's about 5'8" out there, and he used all 5'8" of that time.
Yeah, what Brown did is he ran it down and ran an out pattern, and the ball was right on the sidelines and laid out and caught it. 1st and
10 at the 18. Bowling Green trying to put something on the board here. Here's Tisdale dancing in the backfield. Sams grabs him as he crosses the line of scrimmage inside the 20 to about the 16. It's a gain of a couple. But Tisdale saw the hole and hit it, but I think Cam Sams saw the same hole and hit it about the same time.
Well, Bowler, the outside linebacker on the right side, did a nice job in containment to make sure Tisdale didn't get in. Cut it up, and Cam Sams there to make the tackle.
Riggs to the left, Brown to the right. Now 2 tight ends go to the left, Dingle and Drabaki. And they'll hand it to Tisdale, running left, trying to get outside, and he is cut off. Can't get to the 15-yard line. May have actually lost a yard. Tigers just stringing it out. Patrick Owen doing a great job. And limping back to the huddle is Michael Houlihan. He's going to have to come off the field. He's not going to make it back to the huddle, and down he goes.
And, John, Coach Bart Bruner grabbed Patrick Owen, and the play was going out of bounds, and he got a little jumping up, down. He said, come over here with me, trying to calm him down because sometimes he gets a little excited, and that's when bad things happen.
Houlihan, the outside linebacker, 5'10", 191, the senior. He was instrumental last year, especially late in the season in that linebacking core, and now he's down, and it looks like a cramp there. He tried to get back to the huddle, said, nope, that's not going to work, turned around, took a couple steps toward the sideline, and then just hit the turf. But they are treating it as if it's a cramp, and Houlihan up will jog off on his own.
Had one of those in my foot a little while ago. Boy, I tell you, I almost went down up there in the press
you're
box.
A warrior. I don't know how you're still on the air. I really don't. Well, he's off the field. I don't know if anyone called a timeout. I don't think they did. Well, Bowling Green is coming out ready to go. Tigers still talking to Bart Bruner inside the hash mark. Come on, Bart. You got to get out of there. 3rd down and 8 after no gain by Tisdale.
Kenneth Schaffner comes in the game for Patrick Owen.
And with the score the way it is and the way this game has gone, you have to expect this to be 4-down territory as well. Buchanan alone in the backfield. Now Tisdale comes in motion. They fake it to him, wants to throw over the middle. He does. It's incomplete. Through the hands of Jacob Dingle. But Cameron Sams was there. Jude Carlin was there. They both may have gotten a hand on that, Tony. But that was a pretty good throw into really tight coverage.
Boy, you don't want to be throwing it in between two guys at the goal line, defenders. And I think Buchanan got away with one right there.
4th down and 8, ball at the 16-yard line. And Bowling Green will keep the offense on the field.
And, John, it kind of makes you wonder if they should have went for the 3 earlier unless they have no confidence just to get some points. But
I'm bringing the house here, Tony. Buchanan has not done good under pressure. Here comes Owen up the middle. Buchanan throws it high left. It's overshot, incomplete. On a flag comes down, a couple of them. Boy, I thought that was terrific coverage from Andrews Agbagu on Harrison Riggs. Yeah, he was all over him, but I just thought it was good coverage. In any event, it'll be half the distance to the goal and a 1st down for the Purples.
Well, the only thing I can tell you is his left hand came over the top. He jumped, and his back arm did kind of get him a little, but
ticky-tack.
Yeah, if you're going to call that at the high school level every time, you're going to call pass interference a lot. But it is pass interference, and it's going to help out the Purples.
7:06 to go here in the 3rd quarter. 14-0. Tigers lead it.
So half the distance.
They'll move it to the 8, I believe. Yeah, to the 8-yard line. It was on the 16, and that's a 1st and goal.
So a big break for the Purples from Bowling Green.
On a 4th down play. Tisdale in the backfield with Buchanan on 1st and goal. In motion comes Riggs from left to right. They fake it to him, give it to Tisdale running left. Gets to the 5 and breaks a tackle to the 4, maybe the 3. Well, he was met in that hole at the 5-yard line. And Tiger down. Looks like another cramp here, Tony. We are never going to get out of here. Yep, holding it like it's a cramp, I believe.
And, John, going back to the pass interference play, man, that's just a killer in this situation. Yeah. 14-0, you're going to get out. The possessed Tigers brought pressure. I thought good coverage, but, And
I thought, I'm not sure Riggs really had a shot at the ball either. And even if he does, he might have been out of bounds. But I thought good coverage by Andrews Agbagu, just one of those things. Maybe there was contact a little early, and that's what they call.
Well, this game has slowed down to snail's pace here.
6:50 to go. It'll be, when we come back, 2nd and goal at the 3-yard line. And if you're Mark Spader, you got to give the ball to DeVito Tisdale here.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you throw it to him, you toss it to him, or hand it to him. You just get it to him.
Yeah, it is Richard Bascom coming over to the sideline with the obvious cramp. He'll try to walk that off, get some fluids going quickly. 2nd and goal for the Purples, 6:50 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Tigers lead 14-0.
Lead it by 2 touchdowns. Tisdale in the backfield, 2 tight ends to the right. Tigers shift defensively. Here's Tisdale up the middle. He dives and he's in. Touchdown for the Bowling Green Purples. They are finally on the board with 6:38 to go in the third quarter.
Well, what they did is they made it look like he was going to go right. He cut it back. Good blocking up front. Alex Bascom tries to get a hold of him, and DeVito Tisdale goes in for the touchdown with 6:38 left here in the third. St. X leads 14-6. Extra point coming for the Purples.
And it will not be Warbush. It is Dalton Major in for the extra point. Kick is up, and the kick is good. 14-7. We'll keep it right here with 6:38 to go. Jim, a few guys cramping up over there for the Tigers.
Yeah, it's not overly, humid. It's not over. I think it's just that was a very long drive. From a time standpoint, I think the Tigers defense was on the field for about 15 minutes, it seemed, with all the injuries that were going on. So, yeah, a little bit of cramping, a little bit of dissatisfaction at the defensive coordinator level. They're not really happy. Tony, you're right. They pulled the linebacker out with a little bit of an anticipation of not a good play, but they put him back in. On the on the call, the pass interference call, you had the last hand, that was defending, and then you had the hand around the waist. So, there was a little turn of the hips. And, we'll just say by the rule book, it could be called pass interference.
And once again, Jim Brinkman taking up for the officials, as he always does.
Not that time.
I will go the other way.
He was being nice. He wasn't.
I will go the other way. As the kick is a line drive down the middle. It skips and is picked up on a couple of hops. I think that's paid again up the middle, crosses the 30, or the 25, excuse me, and no more. Drilled right there. And the Tigers will take over 1st and 10 at the 25. Now, how important is it to get something going offensively?
You do, because this game's slowed down to a snail's pace. There's no rhythm. The fans, the big St. X crowd is just kind of sitting watching the game. Got to get some excitement going on offensively here.
How about some cheering down there?
That's past a lot of people's bedtime.
Well, that's true. Present company included. 1st and 10 for the Tigers as Keegan Sullivan brings his team to the line of scrimmage. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Moretti in the backfield to make it a couple of seniors back there. Tight end left is Johnston. Here's Moretti, nowhere to go. 3 purples right there, and I still am confused by the fact that it appears to be a run-pass option. Bowling Green's not stupid, Tony. They know Sullivan's not going to carry the football. How about a little power handoff football?
Well, if I'm Bryson Harkins, I go over and introduce myself to the St. X coaching staff. Say, I need the ball.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11. Keegan wants to throw it. Looking over the middle, wide open, Miles Harris. He got separation from Miles Smith, the linebacker. And it's a gain out across the 40 and a 1st down for the Tigers. Good route by Miles Harris and a throw right on the money.
Yeah, he was a slot receiver on the right. He cuts it up, and Sullivan right on the money, hits him in stride. And Miles Harris, a guy who played running back, as a backup running back last year, playing some slot receiver, and a nice play by the Tigers.
1st and 10 Tigers at their own 42. A little confusion here. Zach Johnston is the fullback to the left. Moretti to the right. Fake it to Moretti, wanting to throw deep. It's not there. Now he does throw it deep down the left side. He's got Lyons, and he couldn't hang on. A little bit behind him, but Eric Lyons trying to reach back and pull it in, and as he was falling to the ground, the ball came loose. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Boy, and Keegan Sullivan took a big hit. Late hit there. I mean, it's not late, but right on there, and I'm watching the replay, John. It was over the back shoulder of Eric Lyons. He tried to turn and fall backwards, and I think if Sullivan would have had just a split second more, he'd have hit him pretty much in stride. But a big play falls for naught as the Tigers look at 2nd and 10 from their own 42.
2 receivers each way, and Moretti in the backfield.
Do it again.
5-man front. Everybody, a lot of people in the box. Bad snap. Sullivan picks it up. Now he falls on it back at the 30. Tried to pick it up and couldn't, and a big loss of about 12 yards will bring up 3rd and a mile.
Yeah, that's sometimes you wonder about the hand, but I think maybe he looked up some and gets up limping a little bit. So, boy, a big play against the Tigers, it goes against them, and now they're backing themselves up to 3rd and 22.
5:06 to go. Clock running here in the third quarter. Sullivan will send Coleman and Andrews Abago to the right, and Bryson Harkins to the left. Johnston's a tight end to the right as well. And Des just looks confused sometimes in these formations.
A lot of them look confused, John. Zach Johnston looks confused.
Sullivan takes a snap, straight drop. Expects something short here. He throws it deep down the middle, and it's dropped. Would have been a first down, and that is Andrews Abago, who is going to limp back to the sideline. Boy, that one, Tony, one. If you're Des, you got to think you got to haul that one in.
Yeah, it's a post pattern. They run a short one and a long one, and Sullivan decides to go.
Oh,
he just dropped it. Watching the replay.
Dropped it right at the first down marker. It was 3rd and 22. It's now 4th and 22, and T comes in to kick it away. Tisdale is deep, along with Evan Spader. Teague boots it out of there. Line drive. We're going to bounce near.
Did he touch it?
Did he touch it? I don't think he did. There's a flag down. Flag comes down as the Tigers recover it at the 30-yard line. Boy, Tisdale really wanted to get a piece of that football. It took one hop. He reached for it, and then I think he pulled his hand back saying, nope, not going to happen.
We looked disinterested in the first place, and then all of a sudden it was like, whoa. And I'm guessing normally it's a hold or a block in the back, and we're going to get a block in the back by the Purples.
And that'll cost the Purples. Will move them back inside the 25-yard line. So good job by Austin Teague to get it out of there. And, again, good coverage by the Tigers.
Do you want me to yell real loud and wake everybody up here?
There's a whole lot of sitting on your hands going on over here on the sideline.
The rage cage still. The students are up, but boy, everybody else looks like they're ready. They're taking a nap.
Listen to the crowd on our field mic.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's it. 1st and 10, Bowling Green. Now they trail at 14-7. 4:26 to go in the third quarter. They'll start this drive at their own 23-yard line. And DeVito Tisdale has touched the ball quite a bit more here in the second half, which we expected. Quick throw to the left, caught by Dingle, first down. Just across the 33 to the 34. It's a gain of 11. Diving catch. It was not Dingle. It was actually Des Wilson who made the catch, and a first down for the Purples. And that time, a good throw from Buchanan.
Now, if you're the St. X defense, John, you got to get off the field and get the ball back to the offense. Bowling Green getting a little bit of rhythm going.
2 receivers each way. Buchanan wants to throw, dumps it to Tisdale at the 35. He makes one man miss, tripped up, and still on his feet as he goes out of bounds on the Tiger sideline, but not before he gets a first down. Another 11 yards out to the 45-yard line, and now the Purple's getting into a little rhythm.
And that shows you how dangerous DeVito Tisdale is. He's the secondary receiver. Tigers look like they had an angle on him, missed tackle, and then luckily knocked him out of bounds.
1st and 10 at their own 45. Shotgun for Buchanan. Looks to the sideline. Tisdale goes from the left of the quarterback over to the right. 2 receivers each way. Tisdale will get the call running left. He's got some room. Tries to make a move at the 50. Cannot get out of the grasp of Jude Carlin, but it's a positive gain of about 5 yards to midfield. It'll be 2nd and 5 for the Purples.
Purple's finding their rhythm, and the Tigers just kind of lulled to sleep here. Ball's at the 50-yard line. We're down to 3:42 here in the third quarter. Tigers lead 14-7.
2 receivers each way again. Same formation. This time Buchanan wants to throw. Does throw, and it's in and out of the hands of Scotty Brown. When you can blame a lot of these incompletions on Bo Buchanan, you can't blame that one on him. Right at the face mask. I think it went through the hands and hit him in the helmet.
Yeah, Harrison Pate gave him some ground to catch the ball, but, boy, you got to catch it when it's out there.
3rd down 5 for the Purples. 3:31 to go here in the third quarter. Tigers lead at 14-7. Ball right on the midfield stripe. Backward pass to Tisdale. Running right. He's got a lot of room. Down the 40. He's gone, folks. Not going to catch him. Touchdown, Bowling Green. Vito Tisdale from 50 yards out. Just a running play. Just a little backwards pass. And he doesn't need much room. He doesn't need many blocks, Tony.
No, and he got enough out on the outside that when that seam opened up, there wasn't anybody on the field that was going to run down to Vito Tisdale. And Bowling Green cuts this to 1 with the extra point coming. Yeah, just a little agile swing pass, and, boy, good blocking. And one Tiger missed him, and it was a foot race, and it wasn't a foot race.
This entire third quarter has been all Bowling Green. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. Tigers have shot themselves in the foot with penalties a couple times on their drives. Low snap, kick is up, and the kick is through. 14 all. We'll keep it right here with 3:21 to go here in the third quarter. Jim Brinkman, what's the mood down there on the St. X sideline?
A little bit of apprehension over here. There's a bunch of St. X and Bowling Green players which had hobbled off, and Desmond Andrews Bogut did not return back on that drive after hobbling off. So there were a couple subs in there, but no one was going to catch DeVito Tisdale on that one there. Once he got to the outside, he was gone.
It is late night football here at St. X tonight. It is, we got started about, I guess 45 minutes late, Tony, with the lightning delay and the thunderstorm that came through here. Tigers had a great first half, but they've kind of, as Jim said, a lackadaisical effort here in the second half so far.
Yeah, John, and it's just they've lulled St. X to sleep here, and they better wake up. Now, we got a tie ball game here in the late third quarter.
Warbush will kick it away. It's Goodman. It's a rolling kick picked up by Pate at about the 16. Crosses the 25, 30. Gets outside to the 30. Well, they'll spot him down at the 33. I never saw him go down.
I didn't either.
He got up, and or I don't know if he got up, but he kept running. But somehow he spotted at the 33. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. And got to get Moretti involved a little bit here, Tony, but I just think they got to connect a little more on the passing game. Had a couple of drops on that last series, and Keegan Sullivan's been good, but he's got to get a little help from his friends.
I agree, John. You know what? A screen pass might be a good way to get Moretti right here. I think Bowling Green might be, thinking Tigers got to get something going, show that play action, and dump it to him.
Man in motion from left to right is Eric Lyons. They'll throw it to him out of the backfield, and he's drilled at the 34-yard line. Maybe a yard as he held on to it. Coming up from his defensive back position was Davis Tomlinson, the senior, the safety. Big hit, gain of 1, 2nd and 9.
Never been a big fan of that play. It works sometimes, but when you're running full speed towards the sideline and got to catch it and turn it up, it's hard to do, and especially with defenders out there. So Tigers get 1 on first down, maybe 2. Got to get some offense going here, John.
Coleman getting his shoulder pad put back in his shirt, wide to the right. 3 receivers to the left. Harkins is the widest on 2nd and 9. Keegan wants to throw, straight drop, pressure up the middle, gets away from it, rolling to the left. They don't want him to run, but he may have to here. Almost tripped up, now he pulls it down. He will run up the middle, gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe, and no more. And Keegan Sullivan goes down. He's got to throw that away, Tony.
Yeah, the coaches are going to have a talk with him about that one, because that's the last thing they need is him get hurt. He's limping a little bit. Don't take the hit. Don't be doing anything like that. So now Tigers find themselves maybe a yard on the play.
Actually, they lost a yard back to the 33. It'll be 3rd and 10. In the meantime,
another player down.
Terrion Thompson, the defensive tackle, the junior, down over, actually off of the field on the sideline at Bowling Green. Bowling Green's taken some hits tonight injury-wise. They've had a couple guys that looked really injured as they were helped off the field, slowly making their way to the sideline, and now another lineman down. And they've all been linemen, whether it's been offensive or defensive.
And, John, we're not even in the fourth quarter, and it's almost 10:30. Wow.
2:09 to play here in the third quarter. Well, we had a 45-minute delay to start, and we've had a number of injuries where guys have been tended to on the field for a lengthy amount of time.
Yeah, and, John, going back to that play by Keegan Sullivan, yes, scramble away, but get rid of the football. Do not take a hit.
Made a great initial move to get away from the blitzer who came through clean. But then when he got outside of the left, he's got to just throw that into the Bowling Green bench or at the feet of one of his receivers, throw it into the ground, but he can't take a hit, Tony.
No, that's the one thing that can't happen, and that's what just happened.
Still looking at the player down over on the sideline. But if you're a Tiger fan now, it's 3rd and 10 at the 33-yard line. You really have done very little, if anything, offensively in this entire third quarter. And Kevin Wallace cannot feel comfortable with the way this game's going. We finally get the big man up over on the sideline. I think I had the number right. 69. That is, as I said, Terrion Thompson, the big defensive tackle, the junior. Well, the Tigers have had plenty of time to draw something up here with the injury. 3rd down and 10 at their own 33-yard line.
And you knew at halftime it was 14-0 Tigers. That Bowling Green was not going to go away. So the Tigers have found no rhythm here in the second half.
Tisdale in there at safety. So DeVito gets a lot of time on the field.
But he's had a lot of rest tonight because there's been a lot of stoppages in play.
Harkins and Lyons go to the short side to the left. Miles Harris and Andre Coleman to the right. Moretti in to, I would guess, helps with the protection for Sullivan on 3rd and 10. Straight drop for Keegan. 3-man rush. Throws. Has a man. Caught. Great catch by Harkins. He climbed the ladder. Caught it. Hauled down at midfield. It's a gain of 17 on 3rd and 10 and a first down for the Tigers.
Well, you know how I feel about Bryson Harkins. Get him the football, and that time he runs a slant over the middle. Sullivan has time. It throws it a little high, but a nice catch by Bryson Harkins. And Tigers had the ball just across midfield.
And that is a play that the Tigers really needed. 4 receivers in the pattern again.
Going to have to take a shot here in a second, John.
Now,
figure out where it's at.
Zach Johnston moves to the interior line as the tight end. Give it to Moretti, running right. And he stutter-stepped himself there, Tony. There's a flag down in the backfield. That's probably an illegal formation because when Zach Johnston went up on the line of scrimmage, I think Andre Coleman should have stepped back, and he didn't, and he's actually looking like the guilty party out there is Andre.
Well, you can have as many on the line of scrimmage as you need. Doesn't matter.
Nope, they're waving it off, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's how many guys are, if you don't have enough guys on the line of scrimmage.
So he didn't look guilty. He just didn't know what he did wrong, which was nothing.
And the referee went, something looked wrong, but there wasn't anything wrong.
Loss of a yard on the play is, again, Anthony stutter-stepped and got to hit the hole. He's a load, Tony. He's got to run through there.
But, John, what's been open is across the middle of the field, even no matter what kind of defense is. That's what Tigers have hit mostly slants.
2nd and 11. We're at a minute 15 left here in the 3rd. Keegan with time again, breaking down, throws late, caught by Coleman at the 40. Breaks a tackle to the 30, down the right sideline, 20. Breaks another one to the 2, and he's in. Touchdown, St. X Tigers. Andre Coleman breaking tackles down the right sideline, 51 yards for the touchdown.
Well, we saw Andre Coleman 2 weeks ago break one, and that time he comes down to about at the 20-yard line. He starts to get tackled by Tomlinson, fought him off at about the 12. Another Purple tries to push him out of bounds, and Andre Coleman, big play Andre Coleman, goes in for the touchdown. Tigers lead 20-14. 1:01 left here in the 3rd, and Jeff Sexton on to attempt the extra point.
Todd Powers will check that for me. I think that's the first catch of the night for Andre. Carlin will hold it. Sexton will kick it. It is up and good. It's 21-14. 1:01 left here in the 3rd quarter, and just with the doctor order there, Tigers needed a big play, got a big play. And Jim Brinkman, how did Andre Coleman break out of that last tackle?
I don't know if you have Andre Coleman in your fantasy draft, but
I'll take him.
He's got 2 catches over 2 games, one for 73 yards and another one for 51 yards. I don't know if you guys get bonus points for TDs over 50, but yeah, Andre Coleman, certainly showing the talent that he's shown us in basketball too.
Tony, it looked like David Tomlinson was going to wrap him up at about the 20-yard line, had an angle, got his arms around him, and Andre just ran right out of the tackle.
Yeah, Andre is a pretty good size guy at 6'2", 180, but he showed good speed and quickness. And, John, you know my philosophy.
Second catch of the night, by the way.
His second? He had one earlier?
I don't remember it, but Todd wouldn't lie to me. But go ahead.
Well, I was going to say 2 catches and 2 touchdowns and 100-something yards. I'm going to get him the ball more often.
Yeah, that's a good play. That's a good play. All right, Tisdale is deep. Again, Tigers have not kicked it to him yet on the kickoffs. He's had a couple opportunities at punt returns. And this one is kicked high and deep. It's going to bounce at the 5 and roll out of bounds at about the 3-yard line. They kicked it away from where Tisdale was. He was over on the right hash mark. They tried to kick it Sexton to the left hash mark and just That's a 9-iron there, Tony. It just hit. He needed one more club.
Yeah, and if you pooch it, you're pretty much giving him the 30-yard line, and that time they took a chance. Good kick till it just kind of wanted to go left on him, and now Bowling Green will take over at their own 35 here in the middle of the night with 1:01 left in the third quarter.
And let's see if the Tiger defense gets a little jolt from what the Tiger offense just did. The last 2 touchdowns we've had 50 yards for DeVito Tisdale and 51 for Andre Coleman. 1st and 10 Purples at their own 35. 3 receivers to the left. That's the wide side of the field. 1 to the right, and Buchanan looking left, now over the middle, throws, has a man, caught for a first down near midfield. Coverage on the play from Jude Carlin, but Scotty Brown made the catch. Gain of 14 out to the 49-yard line, 1st and 10 Purples.
And Bowling Green's found some rhythm in their passing game here in the second half, which they did not have in the first half.
Here's a handoff to Tisdale running left, got around Alex Bascom, tripped up as he crossed midfield. Cameron Sams and Sam Borman in on the tackle. They'll spot it at the 47-yard line. It's a gain of 4. 2nd down and 6, under 30 seconds to go in the quarter.
And a guy like Tisdale, so hard to get a good hit on. You want to. He's in the game a lot. He's getting the ball. You want to hit him, but he's just hard to hit. He's such a good athlete.
2 to the right, Dingle tight end that way. Fake it to Tisdale, wanting to throw. They do throw. It's caught. First down at the 41, maybe the 40-yard line. Immediate hit by Sam Borman on Harrison Riggs. A little slant. Nice throw, nice catch, nice tackle, and a first down for Bowling Green at the 40.
Like I said, they're finding rhythm in that passing game, and that's a good thing if you're a Purples fan, not a good thing if you're a Tiger fan.
2 to the right, 2 to the left. We'll see if they get this play off. They do. Quick throw to the left. It is caught. Making a move is Riggs, and he's loose. Caught from behind and tackled inside the 20-yard line.
Kenneth Schaffner.
And that'll be the end of the third quarter. Bowling Green threatening again. 12 minutes of football to go. St. X leads at 21-14. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Hey, St. X fans, Kyle Kirk here.
Whoa, and they're getting it out, Tony, before. Football to go. John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, Todd Powers. That's barring a tie, of course. 21-14, St. X leads Bowling Green here at Brother Thomas More Stadium. But Bowling Green, who have scored on both of their drives here in the second half, threatening to do it again. They have a 1st and 10 at the Tiger 18-yard line as we start the fourth quarter. One receiver to the right, that's the wide side. In motion, a forward pitch to the on the jet sweep to the 15, to the 14, fighting down near the 10-yard line. First time we've called the name offensively, at least, of Jalen Wardlow, the cornerback, senior. He gets down to the 11, a gain of 7 yards. Good blocking out in front of Wardlow.
James Taylor from his corner spot making the tackle on the play. So now Bowling Green has the ball down to 11-yard line. The Tigers, 2nd and 3 here. Early in the fourth quarter, Tigers lead by 7, 21-14.
Riggs wide to the left, 2 to the right. Tisdale's in the Wildcat formation. Takes a snap. He's certainly not going to hand it off. Runs up the middle and goes in untouched from 11 yards out. But we didn't see a lot of DeVito Tisdale in that first half. And he's carried the ball and carried it a lot here in the second half. 50-yard run on his last carry. And now 11 yards for the touchdown here.
Well, a lot of that's Vito Tisdale, but I'm telling you what, the offensive line did a phenomenal job watching the replay. 3 great blocks up the middle, and he goes untouched.
Warbush in for the extra point.
They're big.
Harrison Riggs is the holder. And he kicks it up and through. It's 21-all with 11 minutes and 17 seconds to go. We'll take a break. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. Back at St. X, John, Tony, Jim, and Todd as the Purples of Bowling Green have tied it up again, 21-all. And Eli Warbush will kick it away. Harrison Pate, Grant Goodman are deep for the Tigers. And with the scoreboard at their back, Tigers will take this kickoff. It's a squib down the middle, 3 bounces up to Pate. He's at the 18, running left, trying to get outside, gets a good block across the 30, about the 35-yard line, and is hauled out of bounds there. No flag. Special team guys, boy, they don't get to tackle much, some of them, and they like to tackle you when they get a shot at it.
You know, my rule on special teams, you get a penalty on unsportsmanlike on the special teams, you shouldn't play the rest of the game.
You're done, huh? You're the coach?
Yep.
They'll spot the ball at the 35, where Harrison Pate went out of bounds. So, Tigers answered right after Bowling Green tied it. Now they're going to have to answer it again. We thought this would be a heck of a game, and it certainly has turned out to be just that. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left.
Boy, John, you got man coverage over here.
Shotgun for Sullivan. He's got Moretti back there with him, along with Zach Johnston. Give it to Moretti, running left, crosses the 35, but not much more. Did the ball come out? Bowling Green says it did. There was a whistle. Moretti gets up off the bottom of the pile. It's no gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10. .10:44 to go. Clock continues to run. Tigers look to the sideline for the play. I'm not sure I wouldn't just, at this point, scrap the running game. Keegan's been really good tonight when he's had time. He's got time again.
There's my play.
Throws it high, deep, left side for Harkins, and just overshot him by about a yard. Well, Bryson Harkins got behind the defender, Tucker Prescorn, and just could not, just didn't have long enough arms as he dove for it here. Tony, what do you see on the replay?
Sullivan put a lot of air under it. He just overshot him by about a yard. Play I've been sitting on the whole time. Safety goes over to the left side. You got man coverage over here. And Bryson Harkins had him beat. The ball was just a tiny bit overthrown.
Now we got a big 3rd and 10. The Tigers haven't been able to stop Bowling Green when the Purples have the ball here in the second half. So big down here. 3rd and 10. 4 receivers in the pattern. 4-man rush. Screen pass. Caught and dropped immediately. Not much there. And you bring a brand new man into the game. It is Will Motley, the junior. He got about 2 yards, and that's it, and the Tigers had to kick it away.
Great job by Tomlinson reading that play and making the play, but Tigers going to have to kick it away.
Tisdale and Spader go deep for the Purples. Austin Teague in to punt it away on 4th and 8. A whistle and a flag. Too many guys for the Purples here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
My
6,
bad,
7,
referee
8, 9,
said.
10, 11. No, it's not. So they'll pick up the flag. And, you know, if they want to put somebody else out there, that'd be fine. We'll take the penalty. But they won't, and Teague will kick it away. Patrick Owen, of course, is the up man. Boots it. Kicks it toward the sideline, and a nice kick
Good
out
kick.
of bounds over the head of Tisdale, who stood there with his hands on his hips, Tony. Probably could have gone back and tried to field that. It was right on the sideline as it bounced, but you got a guy that's playing both ways here in DeVito Tisdale, getting a lot of snaps on a long night.
Well, Tigers have to find a way to stop the Purples. They haven't been able to here in the second half. We have a tie ball game, 21-0 with 9:31 left in the football game.
Todd Powers trying to do math over here. That's never good. The ball's at the 26, so a 37-yard kick. Something like that. 39-yard kick from Austin Teague. And
with no return.
Bowling Green takes over, thrown 26. 1st and 10. And their offense has been running smoothly here in the second half. Fake to Tisdale. Throw with a slant. Caught by Scotty Brown across the 30 to about the 33. We'll give him a gain of about 7 on the play. Tigers had good coverage there. I don't think whoever the defender was ever saw the ball coming because he was standing right next to Scotty Brown.
And, John, they've gone to the quick passing game in Vito Tisdale both, and it's been very effective here in the second half.
They mark it at the 32, so a gain of 6, 2nd and 4. Buchanan wants to throw again. 3-man rush by the Tigers, so no pressure. Running to the left. Now he dumps it to Tisdale at the 30. He's got the first down and pulled out of bounds on the Bowling Green sideline by Michael Houlihan, who has to pull Patrick Owen away from a purple. First down for Bowling Green out at the 38-yard line. That was a good job by Buchanan, Tony. He just held it until the defender came at him and dumped it off to Tisdale. No better guy to dump it off to if you're Bo Buchanan. Wants to throw again, quick one to the right, and not a good throw that time. And it looked like Scotty Brown didn't think he was supposed to cut back up that quickly, and that one just fell harmlessly to the turf, 2nd and 10. Tigers need to stop here, Tony.
They do, John, and it's been all. I mean, it's 21-0. Tigers led 14-0 at halftime. Bowling Green's outscored them 21-7 here, and Bowling Green's been sharp here in the second half, which they were not in the first half.
8:49 to go. Clock stops on the incompletion.
You'll see Vito Tisdale.
Absolutely. I don't know why you wouldn't. He's in the backfield with Buchanan. Dingle in motion to the left. They give it to Tisdale, trying to run left. Houlihan stopped him for a second, and then Patrick Owen going to push him backwards with some help from his friends Pate and Jude Carlin and Hale Bowler and a whole lot of guys. But give Houlihan credit on that play, Tony. First one to meet Tisdale in the backfield.
Yeah, did a nice job. They just jammed it up where he had nowhere to go, and Houlihan first guy there and gave his Tiger buddies a good opportunity to make a play there.
Loss of a couple. Big one here coming up. 3rd down and 12.
Big one for both teams.
For the Purples. Tisdale in the backfield. 1 receiver to the left, 3 to the right. Buchanan wants to throw. Pressure comes from the outside. He steps up into it, and he's going to be dumped. Don't tackle him now. The whistle has blown. Patrick Owen was there. Houlihan as well. Tigers brought pressure.
Hey, we got some noise in here. Everybody wants.
And the crowd on this side at least
just
has
woke up.
Awoken. Buchanan lost about 3 on the play. It'll bring up 4th and 15, first punt of the half. First time the Tigers have stopped the Purples this half. Deep man is Grant Goodman, the sophomore. Snap is good. Boots it out of there. Again, it's one he may be able to return. Takes it to 30, hit and drop. Great coverage that time. If he eludes that tackler, Goodman might have something going there, but Seth Rainville, backup safety, sophomore, hit Goodman in stride and pushed him back at the 30-yard line. The Tigers have it back. 7:26 to go, 1st and 10.
I'm surprised the Tigers haven't brought pressure on the punting game. That was a slow developing play. Tigers came up the middle and actually were pretty close to even getting to it. And I think one time you got to sell out because Bowling Green is really slow getting that punt out there. But we haven't seen it in the second half, though, because they haven't had the punt. Tiger offense coming back on the field, John. 7:26 left in this thing. Tie ball game to 21.
And you just got to give Keegan Sullivan a little bit of time here, Tony. He's done a great job of finding the open man. Ready in the backfield. 3 receivers in the pattern. Miles Harris is in at the H-back spot. He had a big catch earlier. They run the shovel pass to Harris and nowhere to go.
Got to block him up there.
And Keaton Oldham, the junior, comes out of there after the tackle like he just won the lottery. At least that's the way I would act if I won the lottery. 2nd down and 12 after a loss of 2.
Well, I like the old Utah shovel pass, but that one just, man, there was nothing there. It didn't matter what happened on that one, but nothing good was going to happen.
Well, the Purples, as they've done most of the night, Tony, they got 7, 8 guys in the box. So, you know, your safety's out here by himself. Keegan wants to throw. Throws a little screen, tipped into the air. He was looking for Harris again. Good coverage that time by Evan Spader. I like that play, but it was well covered by the Purples. It's 3rd and long again.
Yeah, I think Keegan's got to look off of that one that time. Too good a coverage, and he had Eric Lyons, which it's easy for me to say up here in the flat. But this is a big play for the Tigers. They got to stop. Now, they can't get the ball right back to the Purples.
Bryson Harkins, Eric Lyons wide to the left. Andre Coleman, Miles Harris to the right. Moretti in the backfield for protection. 4-man rush. They run the screen again, this time to Moretti. He's in trouble at the 30, flipped up well short of the 1st down at about the 33-yard line, and the Tigers will go 3 and out. Keegan Sullivan has thrown the ball downfield very well tonight, and I'm just surprised those last 2 plays, 2nd and 12 and 3rd and 12, you're throwing little screen passes that really just didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, John, and Tomlinson both times read the play, and he made the tackle on both screens, and like he knew it was coming, but boy, not a good possession by the Tiger offense.
Austin Teague will kick it away. Spader and Tisdale are deep with 6:08 and the clock running left here in the 4th quarter. 21 all after the Tigers led it 14-0 at halftime. Teague boots it out of there. He's going to bounce at the 40, takes a Tiger bounce, picked up by Tisdale at about the 32. He runs backwards to the 26, gets a block across the 30, and finally pushed out of bounds as he got out near the 40-yard line. Dangerous decision, but he got a few yards out of it. And Bowling Green will take over 1st and 10 at their own 40 with 5:46 to play. 21 all here at Brother Thomas More Stadium.
And you hold your breath when Vito Tisdale gets the ball going around that outside. And Tigers string it out well, but good field position for Bowling Green to start this possession with 5:46 at their own 40-yard line. Tiger defense got to make another stand, John.
And you worry, Tony, about Desmond Andrews Agbagu because James Taylor's been in this a couple series in a row.
Yeah, he limped off after
Dez
that.
has been out.
Yeah, he limped.
Fake to Tisdale. Run over the middle, almost intercepted. Boy, Sam Borman read it the whole way. Cameron Sams was there as well. Play action to Tisdale. They tried to get it into Harrison Riggs, and he was well covered. Bowling Green lucky that one's not going the other way.
Boy, you're right, John. He threw it behind the receiver, Riggs, and boy, if Borman reads it a little better, maybe he's still running with it.
3 to the right, Des Wilson to the left on 2nd and 10. Little quick screen to Tisdale out of the backfield. Cuts, stops, starts, stops again, and he's going to be hit and stopped short of the 45-yard line. We'll give him 4 yards, and that's what you got to do. You gang tackle that guy. Hale Bowler, Michael Houlihan, Richard Bascom get up off the bottom of the pile, and it'll be 3rd down and 6 for the Purples with 5:19 to go.
And your answer was just answered, John. Desmond Andrews Agbagu just came in a corner for Harrison Pate.
Purples looking to the sideline. Vito Tisdale hands on knees here, Tony. Maybe a little winded, but again, playing both ways. And it is still August. Buchanan wants to throw. Rolls on the ground, but he falls on it. I think Cameron Sams knocked it out of there, got a hand on it. And it's going to be a sack for the Tigers again. All the way back at the 34-yard line, loss of 10. And the Purples will have to kick it away.
Well, Bascom made the tackle, I believe, John, but Sams is the guy that came. Tigers brought pressure, and Buchanan tried to step up, nothing there, and luckily he got the football back. So Tigers hold 2 possessions in a row. I'm coming if I'm the Tigers this time.
Grant Goodman is deep for the Tigers. Warbush in to kick it away. Good snap.
Ooh.
And they hit him.
No.
And there's a flag.
Oh.
Yep. Goodman comes up with a fair catch. Now that should be a flag,
That's
too.
Just.
It's going to be roughing the kicker. 4th and 16.
That should just be running into the kicker.
Yep, it's personal foul, roughing the kicker, Tony. I don't think there is a running into the kicker. Jim Brankman, what are your thoughts here?
I get on my reels.
All I know is, when it's 4 minutes remaining, you cannot touch the kicker. I mean, it's nice to try to make that super play, but you cannot run. I mean, the contact was obvious.
Jim, is that an automatic first down?
Because it's 16 yards.
No,
16 yards. Yeah,
well,
they're giving them the first down, so I guess it is. 1st and 10. They'll move it all the way out to the 49-yard line, I believe, or thereabouts. And write that one down, folks. Big play.
Wow.
1st and 10, Bowling Green, and that's why you don't go after.
Well, you're exactly right. And I'm sitting here saying, well, I said to do it, and it was wrong.
4:16 to go. Bowling Green with new life on this possession, on this drive. And it's a handoff up the middle to Carter. Owen grabs a hold of him, pulls him back as he crosses midfield. You give him 3 to the 48 of St. X. And a little blow here for DeVito Tisdale, Tony?
Yeah, he's been on the field a lot, John. But, boy, what Tigers have that's just a bad mistake.
Michael Carter, the senior.
And, John, that's what I'm saying. You can bring pressure, but you don't have to go after. You go for the ball. You don't go into the guy.
High snap, bringing it down and giving it to Carter, who's across the 45 to the 40. Has a first down. Hale Bowler hanging on for dear life. Taylor came up to help from the corner, but it's a gain of 8 and a first down for Bowling Green at the 40. And here comes DeVito Tisdale back into the game.
And the clock becomes an issue here, too, when Bowling Green gets the ball down to the Tiger 40-yard line. It's running as it 3:35 left in this tie ball game.
But the Purples have all 3 timeouts left, so again, the entire playbook is open here. Here's Tisdale running left. Tigers come up to greet him. Great play that time from Sam Borman. He just sold out. You got to have faith in your corner sometimes and just come out up and say, you know what, I'm just going to follow Vito Tisdale. That's exactly what Borman did there. Got him back at the 46-yard line, a loss of 6.
And, John, that's 2 All-Staters right there. Anybody doesn't think Sam Borman's an All-State safety is fooling themselves. But Vito Tisdale, he comes up and makes that play.
2nd down and 16. Tiger D needs to toughen up here. Not a good snap. Here's a draw to Tisdale. Hit and nowhere to go. Push backwards. Still up, but now he falls down at the 41-yard line. They're going to spot it at the 47 of St. X. Loss of another yard. And it'll bring up 3rd down and long. And right now, Tony, without question, biggest play of the game here.
And Vito Tisdale comes out of the game.
2:30 to go. Clock continues to run here. And I think they're going to let it run down and maybe take a timeout here.
Be smart, well, I don't know. Why would you do that at this point?
They're not going to do that. 2
they get a
receivers
first
each
down.
way. Buchanan has Michael Carter in the backfield with him. Takes a snap. Straight drop. Pressure up the middle. Running to the right. Throws to Scotty Brown. Through his hand. And off the official on the sideline there. It'll be 4th down with 2:01 to play. Clock stops. Hold against Bowling Green. Tigers will decline that, and the Purples will have to punt it away. So give this defense credit here, Tony. They allowed Bowling Green to get into Tiger territory, but then the big play by Sam Borman on the Tisdale run for a 6-yard loss.
Yeah, that's huge. And now I don't think the Tigers will come hard this time. I think they'll set up a return. I'm Mr. Obvious, but and that helped the Tigers out with 2 minutes right there, the incomplete pass, so the clock stopped. But
absolutely. Grant Goodman is deep. Good snap. Ball booted out of there. Goodman's going to come over and take it at about the 11-yard line. Running left, gets to the 20, and a flag comes down at the 24-yard line. I didn't see it, but I wasn't looking where the flag is. It'll cost the Tigers 10 yards back to the 14-yard line, I believe, and they'll start at their own 14 with 1:50 to go here, 21 all.
All right, question for you. Let's see. This game goes into overtime. Who has the advantage?
I would say, wow. I don't think either team
I don't think they do. That's why I just wanted your opinion. I think both teams are, just like we're at 21 all here with 1:50 left. And that's a big penalty because.
By the way, it is still August, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. Still for another hour. Yeah, that's a huge penalty because it sort of hurts your playbook here.
Yeah, you don't want to. You don't want to get too aggressive.
How wide open are you going to be here?
Right.
Here are the Tigers. 1:50 to go. 1st and 10 at your own 14-yard line. Remember, 3 points would win this one. Keegan does want to throw on 1st down. They set up the screen to Moretti, running left. Not much there. Fights his way to about the 17. A gain of 3. And I don't know if the playbook is stuck on one page here, but they've fallen in love with that little screen pass.
Yeah, I think it's the safe play.
Are you setting something up here?
I just think it's a safe play. I think if you're the Tigers, you just want the clock run out.
2nd down and
Bowling Green's
7.
got 3 timeouts.
Yeah, I'm surprised. 1:21 to go. I think if the Tigers don't get anything here or go backwards, you'll see Mark Spader call a timeout. Keegan wants to throw quickly. He's got Harkins. 1st down, yes, at the 24-yard line. Or did they give it to him?
No, they didn't, John.
Yeah, I think they did. 1st and 10, gain of needed 7, got 7.
Okay. You
and
got
it's
better
a 1st
eyes than
and
me.
10 at the 24-yard line with 1:07 to play. And the clock starts on the whistle here. We are down right at a minute. And Tigers still looking over to the sideline. Sullivan takes a snap, wants to throw. Looking down the middle and falling, losing his balance, and now holding his leg out there is Miles Harris. It looks like he may have cramped up, Tony, because he started to go down. The turf monster, I thought, got him, but he started to go down as that ball was in the air.
And he had some space to
Yes,
run.
he did.
Okay,
and Miles Harris is still down. We'll take a quick break with 51 seconds to go. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. Lapsed again as Peter Desarn, former Associate Athletic Director, able to make his way into the booth with Brad Lease as well. So the gang's all here. It must be raining out there again, Tony. These guys, you know, they're fragile. They have to get into the
and it's not raining, John.
2nd down and 10 for the Tigers as Miles Harris had a cramp, able to get off on his own there. 51 seconds to go. Tigers at their own 24. And Moretti takes a step forward, and that'll cost the Tigers 5 yards. So at the 24, we'll move it back to the 19, and now Keegan Sullivan he's coming over the sideline. He wants to call a play. I love the guy, Tony. He's a competitor. He's coach. Guess what I think will work? I bet it's a pass if Keegan Sullivan wants to run it.
I tell you, John, with 51 seconds, I know Bowling Green's got 3 timeouts. I don't know if I'm going to throw it here.
2 to the right. Coleman is the widest over there. 2 to the left. That's the short side of the field. Keegan takes a snap, gives it to Moretti. Running up the middle, not much. Crosses the 20. Quick timeout by Bowling Green. We'll take one as well with 45 seconds to go. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. Stadium. John, Tony, Jim, and Todd. Well, Bowling Green has used their second timeout, I believe. The scoreboard says they still have 2 left. I don't think that's right.
It's not. They just called the last 2.
But was that the first one they called? No, they've called 2 here, right? That was the first one, Todd Powers.
That's right. Miles Harris went down on the incomplete pass.
Tigers with 3 receivers to the right. Zach Johnston is going to
Late
head
entry.
over that way. He's in the tight end spot to the left. Sullivan on 3rd and 13 takes a snap. It's going to be a screen. Quick wide receiver screen in and out of the hands of Bryson Harkins, and that one hung in the air for a while, and Tigers are very lucky that Bowling Green is not going the other way. What we thought was a safe play there, Tony, and it stops the clock.
Well, it looked like Harkins stumbled as he came out, into his pattern. He stumbled and couldn't get his hands up. I think it was just a case that he lost his balance on the throw.
Austin Teague will kick it away.
Away from Vito Tisdale.
Tisdale and Spader are deep for Bowling Green near midfield. 41.3 seconds to go in a 21-21 football game. High snap. Teague brings it down, boots it out of there, away from Tisdale. It bounces short of midfield and will roll out of bounds right at the midfield stripe. And Bowling Green will have it 1st and 10 with 32.5 seconds to go and 2 timeouts left.
Well, here's where I put on my hat, figure out what's going to happen. Tigers intercept the pass, run it back, and end the game. We're out of here.
Well, that'd be fine, but I think if you're Mark Spader, what do you do with Vito Tisdale here? Is he a decoy? Is he a guy you just try to get it to in space? What are you going to do?
I'd put him out as a receiver and make him one of the guys like they did early in the game, make you guard him.
They come from the sideline to the line of
him on the
scrimmage,
far
and
left
on the
side?
far left, the short
You
side of the
better get
field
help over there.
is Vito Tisdale. Harrison Pate will draw the assignment. Now tight ends both come to the right on 1st and 10. Buchanan going to throw it deep down the middle, and it is caught. Great catch by Dingle at the 35-yard line. Good coverage from Cameron Sams, Tony, but throw right on the money. It's a gain of 16. There is a flag down, and that's going to be an illegal shift against Bowling Green. What a break for the Tigers.
That is. And a great catch by Dingle and a good
Dingle
throw
made
by
a great
Buchanan.
play because Cam Sams had really good coverage.
And, John, I'm a firm believer in this point of the game that you have to have a nickel package with a 5th defensive back and maybe take one of the linebackers or ends out of the game and put, one of your other,
27 seconds, and the clock starts. High snap. Tisdale will not take the handoff. Rolling right is Buchanan. Looking deep. Throws. It is incomplete. Dabraki was the intended receiver. Andrews Abagu got a piece of him as he was in the air after the ball hit his hands. It'll be 2nd and 15 with 17.5 seconds to go.
Really nice pressure by Patrick Owen. He chased Buchanan down. Great fake to Tisdale, but Owen did a nice job at staying with the play, and he forced Buchanan to get that ball out quicker than he wanted to. So we're down to 17.5, 2nd and 15 for the Purples from their own 45-yard line.
And now you wonder if they're going to do anything crazy. You kind of think maybe this is Tisdale time. It is. Right up the middle, across the 45, spins out of a tackle. Now he's running backwards, and he's going to be hauled down at about the 46-yard line with under 10 to play.
We're going to have overtime.
We are going to have our first overtime in quite a while. We'll take a break, come back with the OT, 21-all, St. X and Bowling Green. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. jailhouse, right? 21 all. Tigers led it 14-0 at halftime, but Bowling Green stormed back with a couple third-quarter touchdowns to tie the game. St. X scored late in the third quarter on a 51-yard touchdown pass from Keegan Sullivan to Andre Coleman. Bowling Green able to answer with an 11-yard run from Vito Tisdale early in the third quarter. He's a junior, by the way.
Yes, he is, John.
So we get to see him down at Bowling Green next year. Not good. But we've been at 21 all since the 11-17 mark of the fourth quarter, and we're getting ready for overtime as the captains and the coaches will go meet at midfield. We'll send Jim Brinkman out there to see what happens. Now, overtime rules they're not college, a little different here in high school. Each team will get the ball at their opponent's 10-yard line, first and goal.
Yep, you get a bunch of tries if you keep scoring, both teams. We talked about it off the air. We don't like that rule because you're just playing 10 yards each time. Make it interesting. Make you get a first down or two. But that's the ruling. We're going to have the coin toss. Not the coin toss.
Patrick Owen, Cameron Sams. Well, it is a coin toss.
It is.
Cade Parham.
It's getting late.
Anthony Moretti, captains for the Tigers. And Jim's got a hot mic down there, so let's listen in.
That was a good hit, man. We can do this. So we're going to call it, all right? Choice of defense or which end of the field we're going to play on, okay?
The end of the field is irrelevant.
Has possession of the ball, the series is over, okay? So in other words, defense can't score, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. You will get one timeout per overtime, all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No carryovers, okay. Heads, just like the first time. Tails, heads, tails. What are you going to call?
Tails.
I'm going to call tails. If I drop it, we'll do it again. What is that, Captain? What is that? That's tails.
If I'm saying X, I say that's heads, right?
You're going to be on offense. Which end of the field you want to play on?
Defend the scoreboard.
You want to go? You want to go towards the scoreboard?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
I like Kevin Wallace and Mark Spader down there, Tony. That's okay. We'll go down there.
Scoreboard. Right here.
So, Jim, St. X will get the ball first. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's what you're hearing. Bowling Green elected to go on defense, which gives them the choice of whether or not to kick a field goal or go for 7 at that time. Advantage Bowling Green on the coin flip, but really it all comes down to how well does your offense operate inside the green zone.
And the Tigers had trouble 2 weeks ago in the green zone, without question, Tony. But 10-yard line, I'm sorry to say this. I'm just going to throw it 4 times if I'm the Tigers here.
I was thinking
or
the same
3
thing.
3 times to kick a field goal.
It would be play action already on the first play to me, I would rather get the ball second.
Yeah,
you know what?
obviously.
If you score a touchdown here, then you really put the pressure on them.
Now, I did disagree with one thing the official said, which was the defense cannot score. Now, I understand you can't intercept a pass and run it back.
Right.
But if the quarterback drops back 90 yards, you can sack him for a safety.
Well, I still think the defense should be able to score. Well, why can't the defense score and end the game?
Theoretically.
Well, I guess because both teams wouldn't get to play.
Well, then your offense would just go out and take a knee because you're winning.
Right.
First and 10, Tigers at the 10-yard line. They start in the Wildcat here. 4 receivers to the left, and Zach Johnson goes that way as well. Moretti takes a snap, rolling left, not looking to throw it all. He's going to cut it inside at the 9, and that's it. Pushed out of bounds on the sideline. Kept looking for a hole that never developed. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9. A little surprised. We haven't seen that the whole game.
Yeah, I'm surprised, but I don't. We just talked about throwing it 4 times, and you line up and you decide to go wide and try to get there. That's why we're up here.
Sullivan is not in the football game.
He's standing on the sideline, John, with the coach. They're calling timeout.
Their only timeout here. We'll stay right here.
If you're going to play without Keegan Sullivan, you might as well go home.
Jim, was Keegan Sullivan hurt or getting something looked at over there?
Yeah, on the second half of the game, Keegan Sullivan's been limping a little bit, but I don't think he can run full out. But I think that they were confused on whether or not, the Wildcat. My short memory of the Wildcat so far is that we have a fumble against the Sales.
Yeah. A shovel pass that didn't work.
Shovel pass that didn't work, and then a penalty, and so anyway, and that picked up 1 yard there. So that I know they've spent a lot of time on that in practice, giving Anthony Moretti the opportunity to run that. But like I said, you got to execute down, inside the green zone.
Sullivan is coming out now from the huddle. Interesting, because again, we hadn't seen it. All of a sudden, Keegan Sullivan is standing behind the coaches, and one coach is kind of saying to Kevin Wallace,
"Why
he's
is he
here.
over here? Yeah,
he's right here. Let's play him." All right, he's in the shotgun, 2nd and goal, ball at the 9. 2 receivers stacked to the right. Keegan wants to throw, and he short-armed it, throwing it to the left. Intended for Bryson Harkins, and really didn't give him a chance to catch it. Now 3rd and goal at the 9. Spread the field out here, Tony. You've got guys that can catch the football. Give Keegan Sullivan a little bit of time. Let him find somebody.
See what the Tigers dial up here. 3rd and 9 from the 9-yard line here in overtime. Tie ball game.
2 receivers to the left. That's the short side. Coleman and Miles Harris to the right. 4-man line, 4-man rush. Keegan has time, looking. Now he's in trouble. Throws, hit as he throws. It's caught at the 4-yard line, maybe the 3-yard line. Great catch that time from Bryson Harkins. Slow to get up is Sullivan, and he is going to limp to the
sideline because Tigers are going to kick a field goal.
Sideline, they're going to kick the field goal. I'm surprised. Well, you got to have faith in your defense, I guess, here. Jeff Sexton will come in to kick it away. It'll be an extra point, basically, from the left hash mark, though. Jude Carlin will hold it. Tigers trying to regain the lead here in overtime with the field goal attempt. Good snap, good hold. Sexton kicks it up and missed it. Wide left. And now Bowling Green will have the ball at the 10-yard line, and Bart Bruner will send his defense out there. Well, it all starts with the unexplainable decision to run the Wildcat on 1st and 10.
Yeah, not a decision I would have made right there. And that you have an inexperienced kicker, and unfortunately.
Yep, and Keegan Sullivan, by the way, Tony, is up on the trainer's table right now, and he is in some pain.
And now field goal beats you anyway. Any score, and this game's over.
So Bowling Green will come out at the 10-yard line. And we'll get Jim Brinkman on the Keegan Sullivan. They're looking at the left leg, which is not the knee that was injured his freshman season.
You'll see Vito Tisdale 3 times right here.
I would think you might. Although they love to throw the football. Buchanan in the shotgun and a whistle before the snap. We got to delay a game here or a false start?
It's got to be a false start.
It could be an offsides against the Tigers, actually. Long discussion here, and it's a dead ball, false start against Bowling Green. So that helps the Tigers. They'll move it back to the 15, still 1st and goal.
Been a weird start to the season, John. It's don't
yes,
even know what to say right now.
2 receivers to the right here. I mean, I still don't understand why you wouldn't give it to Vito Tisdale. Give him a chance here on 1st down.
They were giving it to him on the first one.
You're Bowling Green, and they do. They give it to him running to the middle, in trouble. Not much there. Michael Houlihan, or actually that is Richard Bascom that stopped it up. Cameron Sams was in there as well. No gain. Give him a yard to the 14, 2nd and goal. And we may be here till September.
Well, I think
at least I hope so.
I think you're going to see Tisdale again. I don't see any reason not. I don't see any reason to give to anybody else. You're looking right now, if you had to kick it at about a 30, 31-yard field goal.
2 to the right, tight end Dingle to the left. In motion from left to right. It is Tisdale running to the left, now up the middle, fighting his way toward the 10. He's not going to make it that far. They'll blow the whistle at the 11-yard line, and it'll be 3rd down and goal from just inside the 11.
Tisdale's cramping now.
Now he's cramping with his right leg. And he wants to stay in, but he's pointing to the sideline.
You got to get him out, because if you want to get him the ball,
and down he goes. They'll probably call their one timeout here. I don't know why they wouldn't. If you want Tisdale to stay in on third down, Tony, you're going to have to use a timeout here.
Well, it's going to. Well, I'm getting ready to say it's going to come down to the kicker, but they have one more play here. 3rd and 11.
I think it's funny when you know a guy's cramping, and you walk up and you talk to him. Grab his leg and start relieving the cramp. What are you doing? And somebody finally does. 3rd down and 11. Tigers got a big break on the false start to have the Purple starting 1st and goal at the 15 instead of the 10-yard line. And now they're in a down where it's tricky because you can run the football if you trust your field goal kicker. If you don't trust your field goal kicker, you almost have to throw it here.
And, John, interesting enough, in the first half when they had opportunities to try to kick a field goal, they went for it.
Jim, any update on Keegan Sullivan?
No, he's off the the training thing. I haven't, he was walking very, very gingerly when he got off. Yeah.
Yeah, he's taking actually Douglas Bodine
that's
is
Bodine
taking snaps.
is taking. Hey guys, I did want to mention that last week Eli Burwash, number 16, did kick a 37-yard field goal for Bowling Green against PRP. So now they've gone with Dalton Major for doing a lot of the extra points, and he seems to have a pretty live leg, being able to kick the ball inside the 5-yard line on kickoffs. So it'd be interesting to see, whether or not there's some type of hamstring injury or something.
3rd down and goal at the 11-yard line. In motion from left to right comes Wilson. They hand it to the running back, little water bug in there, and he's not going to go anywhere. Vargas stacks him up along with Andrews of Bagu. Jamil Smith, the senior, got the carry. It's a gain of a yard to the 10. And I'm going to assume here that's a timeout by Bowling Green. It is, and they will we'll see if they send their field goal unit out. You expect them to, of course, for a 27-yard try here. Tigers will come to the sideline and huddle up with Bart Bruner. Tigers blocked a couple against DeSales, so they have the capabilities of getting around the edge and getting a block. I know Sam Borman, Jude Carlin, those guys are long. They're athletic basketball players. And, if they're going to kick it, you got to try to block it.
Got tall guys in there like Bascom's in the middle. But it's come down to a field goal. And the one thing that Bowling Green has, they have a better angle. The ball's not exactly the middle of the field, but it's over just a little bit to the left-hand side towards the middle. So comes down to one play here. Tigers couldn't execute their field goal, and now Bowling Green has an opportunity to win the game.
The Tiger defense will head back out on the field.
At 11:21 tonight.
And here comes Dalton Major, the junior. He will try a 27-yard field goal straight on out of the hold of Harrison Riggs. Tigers have used their timeout, so they can't ice him here. Snap is good, hold is good, plenty of leg, and he hooked. He made it. It's good. Ball game. Bowling Green knocks off the Tigers 24-21. We'll take a break. Come back with the Eye Care Institute post-game report. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
You've been listening to the St. X Tigers.
Looked like it when he first kicked it, didn't